Naruto Cultivating in the Hidden Sands Village with Pokémon. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 151 Viridian Gym. Sand Village, many houses. Father, I must become a gym leader. Duoniu slammed the table with his right hand and said firmly, "No, you stay in the Sand Village and wait for me to retire and inherit the position of captain of the Bulbasaur." Duofu glared at him and refused bluntly. Duoniu is the only good seedling of the family, so Duofu is reluctant to let him go. "I might as well wait for the Chinese national football team to qualify for the World Cup rather than waiting for you to retire. Besides, a gym leader has a very high status. Chinjiro and Ashu have both become gym leaders. If I become a gym leader, our family can move to a higher level." Duoniu was furious and argued with reason. "I'm old. How many more years can I still work? If you're not in the Sand Village, who can support the family? Just rely on those good-for-nothings." Duofu retorted harshly and cursed those useless descendants. "Aren't they're still the eldest, second, third, and seventh aunts?" Duoniu curled her lips, expressing her contempt for her father. This Duofu was speechless and didn't know how to refute. The 7 ladies of Nido are famous, even more famous than Duofu. The key is that Lala is indeed stronger. I have discussed this with Auntie and the others, and they all support my decision. I only have one elite Jonin spirit right now, and Auntie and the others will accompany me to the Endland Habitat to capture 2 more powerful spirits, so you don't have to worry about the gym." After Duoniu finished speaking, he got up and went out, regardless of Duofu's pale face. Rebellious girl. Duofu was so angry that he threw the teacup in his hand to the ground. The cup broke into pieces and the porcelain pieces flew everywhere. When Duoniu heard the sound in the house, he left without looking back. Since she was 14 years old, Duofu has been introducing potential partners to her. Duofu adheres to the philosophy of more children, more blessings, and each of his children gets married early. Only she remained strong. Because the people Duofu introduced were all ninjas from big families. Duoniu doesn't want to marry a son of a big family, otherwise how can she marry a young husband in the future? Now she is 24 years old and still single. Duofu opened a harem, but she was not allowed to do so because she was a woman. Duoniu deeply hates the system of the ninja world. Why can men have a harem but women can't? Why can men be lustful but women can't? Why do men have no rules as husbands, but women have to follow rules as wives? The soul of female supremacy in Doi's body is burning fiercely. She decides to create a precedent in the ninja world. She wants to openly start a harem. The emergence of the gym made her realize that this was a great opportunity. The next morning, Duoniu and the 7 women set out for the habitat of the Endland. The End of the Land habitat is the safest red quality habitat. 2 of the 8 shadow level Pokemon were captured by Luo Sha, and Bangara settled in the East Sand Oasis, and the land clouds floated unsteadily in the sky. The other 6 shadow level Pokemon are paradox Pokemon, all buried in ancient ruins. Therefore, in the current habitat of the End of the Land, you won't encounter any shadow level Pokemon at all. There are many elite Jonin Pokemon in the Endland, but they pose no danger to Dory and his group, because they have 8 elite Jonin Pokemon in their group. With their strength, they can escape unscathed even if they encounter shadow level Pokemon. The Land of End is vast, covering an area of more than 100,000 square kilometers. It is extremely difficult to capture elves in such a vast land. They had no map to guide them, so they could only wander around like headless flies, looking for a suitable elf. It took Duoni 2 months in the Land of the End to capture 2 suitable Pokemon, the LV63 Desert Dragonfly and the LV62 Hippomon. Duoniu now has 3 elite Jonin level Pokemons, enough to be a gym master. Duoniu rushed back to the Sand Village and submitted the gym application to Luo Sha. Luo Sha's shadow clone was handling government affairs in the Fengying building and received Duoniu's application as soon as possible. Luo Sha recalled a little and found out Duoniu's information. Duoniu inherited the beauty of both Duofu and Lala, and is a famous leftover woman in Sunagakure. Duoniu is very powerful and one of the geniuses of Sunagakure. Duoniu is a 12-year-old Jinan, a 15-year-old Chunin, and a 19-year-old Jonin. This year, he became an elite Jonin. Duoniu obtained his own title, Earth Messenger. After Luo Sha learned about Duoniu's information, He quickly approved Duoniu's gym application. Luo Sha placed Duoni in the Takawa Castle, and the Takawa Gym. Takawa Castle is known as the capital of the earth and is the closest town to the Sand Village as the first city in the Kingdom of Wind. Takawa Castle needs to build a gym as soon as possible. Although Takawa Castle has many trainers, there is no one with extraordinary talent and outstanding talent. Luo Sha is worried that there was no one to be the gym leader of the Takawa Gym. Duoniu is a ground type trainer and happened to be assigned to the Takawa Gym when the Lord of Takawa Castle received the news of building a gym. He immediately allocated a large sum of funds and couldn't wait to find people to start the work. Since the opening of the Elf Arena, the Viridian government has become extremely wealthy. Viridian Castle has undergone massive construction in the past 2 years, and the entire city has already taken shape as a modern city. As the first city in the Kingdom of Wind, Takawa Castle's gym is naturally built to be as grand and majestic as possible. After all, this is a place that represents the strength and prestige of the city. It took the old craftsman construction company 2 months to build a gym next to the Pokémon Center in Viridian Castle. The Takawa Gym covers an area of 40 acres and is made entirely of the most precious and hard minerals. The value of Takawa Gym is higher than a Suka Gym. Duoniu packed his bags as quickly as possible and checked into the Takawa Gym. On the day he moved in, Duoniu announced that he was recruiting apprentices for the gym from all over the ninja world. The only requirement was that they must be handsome young men. Such a strange requirement still cannot stop the enthusiasm for registration. In just 1 month, Doi received more than 100,000 registration forms. Duoniu only examined appearance and conduct. She eliminated 99% of the applicants based on appearance in the first round and screened out 1,000 handsome young men. Afterwards, Duoniu interviewed these 1,000 young people one by one to examine their character. Duoniu tied her hair up into an exquisite bun, revealing her slender white neck. She was wearing a cool red robe, high heels, and bright red lipstick. Her confident expression and charming eyes made her look wanton and flamboyant. Many young people were fascinated and saluted with their guns. Such a strong and beautiful elder sister. 100 young men were selected from among the best to become apprentices of the gym. These 100 young men are all handsome in their own way. If they are not handsome, it means they have other specialties. The Pokemon distributed by the Changpon Gym are Nidoran and Nidoran, and the quality of the Pokemon is higher than that of other gyms. These 100 gym apprentices are very grateful to Duoniu, and some even look forward to Duoniu's unspoken rules. Tomato Daily, who likes to watch the fun, called Duoniu's selection of gym apprentices the selection of concubines. Duoniu is not at all timid and accepted an interview with Tomato Daily, talking at length about the ideas of freedom, fraternity and equality. She has morals and she won't force anyone. She will pursue the men she likes openly and be responsible for every man she likes. She is sincere to everyone, but she loves too many people. She's just like most men, and she's not wrong. She just wants to give all men a home. Duoniu's remarks were too advanced, and her idea of female supremacy caused an unimaginable impact on everyone in the ninja world. Due to Doi's outrageous actions, the turmoil caused by the Takawa Gym was far greater than that of the previous 4 gyms. When Duofu saw the Tomato Daily in the Sand Village, he almost fainted from anger. But no matter what, the 5th gym in the ninja world, Takawa Gym, was established. Gym Master, Duo ND Representative Attribute, Ground Representative Pokemon, Nidoking Queen, Desert Dragonfly. Chapter 152. Here Gym. Duoniu was strongly criticized by public opinion, and even many ninjas in the Sand Village criticized Duoniu, believing that Duoniu is not suitable to be a gym master. Luo Sha ignored the surging public opinion in the ninja world. As long as she behaves properly, this personal issue won't cause her to step down. The ideal respected in the ninja world is the strong own everything. As long as Duoniu remains strong, no one dares to pick a fight with him. At most they just criticize verbally. A big thing happened in the Sand Village recently because Xiao and Leon had not made any move for a long time. Xiao could no longer sit still. Every weekend, Scorpion would return home to learn puppetry from Xiao, the stronger Scorpion's talent. The more heartbroken Xiao felt, Scorpio grew up in pampering in this life, and was influenced by the will of wind and the will of sand, and did not grow crooked at all. Of course, this is what Luo Sha thinks is not crooked, in Xiao's eyes. Scorpion was already crooked and beyond help. Xiao was very sad. She had only been fighting in the war for a year, and when she came back she found that her grandson had changed his surname. But Xiao and Leon are not supportive and have not given birth to a second child yet. Xiao thinks the aphrodisiac may not be effective and needs to be increased in dosage. So, Xiao tinkered with it and invented a combination of an aphrodisiac and aphrodisiac, Yoshisling. As the name suggests, 13 times a night. Men drink it and they cry, women eat it and they cry. Xiao tested the medicine on the Hyuga ninja, and only after making sure that no one would die did she put it into Xiao's bowl. One night, at Xiao's residence. "Son, this is the nourishing soup I just cooked. Take care of yourself and give me grandchildren soon." Xiao handed the bowl to Xiao with a smile and said kindly the green soup in the bowl was still bubbling, which made Xiao break out in a cold sweat. He had drunk so much soup in the past 2 years, and every time he finished drinking it, Lian, who was standing aside, lowered her head, looked at the person, and looked helpless. Lian was secretly delighted in her heart. She was still very happy that Xiao delivered medicine to her every day because she was the one who enjoyed it. And she also wants to have another child and raise him herself. Scorpio's precocity deprived her of the joy of raising a child. Xiao drank the medicine sent by Xiao with a fearless attitude, not knowing what the effect would be this time. Last time, my head was hot. The time before that, my lower body was swollen. The time before that, I couldn't stop. Xiao soon realized the effect, and it was not until the 13th time that he felt relieved. It's like the soul is flying. Xiao fainted immediately. Xiao was successfully sent to the IQ by Xiao, but Xiao finally got what she wanted. Lian is pregnant. Xiao took care of Lian every day, while Xiao stayed alone in the hospital in a miserable state. Xiao's mission has been completed, so Xiao naturally no longer cares about Xiao. Xiao has a new account, so why would she pay attention to Xiao's old account? Ebizo went to the hospital to visit Xiao, and the two of them showed sympathy in their eyes. The two had a common topic and complained to each other about Xiao's crimes all night. Xiao suddenly realized that Ebizo was even more miserable than him. Xiao felt balanced immediately. Compared with Ebizo, he seemed to be living a good life. When Luo Sha told Z the news that Xiao was hospitalized, Z was stunned. Scorpion opened his eyes wide, mouth slightly open, and looked at Luo Sha in disbelief. Scorpion was very smart and guessed a cause and effect immediately, but he didn't expect Grandma to be so weird. Luo Sha brought Z to the hospital to visit Xiao and gave Xiao a flower basket. After all, he kidnapped Xiao's son, so Luo Sha still felt a little guilty towards Xiao. Xiao looked at the two red-haired people who came to visit him, and for some reason, he had the illusion that they were a family. Xiao, it's even more sad. After Xiao was discharged from the hospital, he immediately resigned from his position as the leader of the puppet class and decided to go to Nibi City to serve as the gym leader. Cherish life and stay away from thousands of generations. Nib City is not far from the Sand Village. If you start from the Sand Village, you can reach Nib City in 1 hour by riding a tropical dragon. Luo Sha did not immediately approve Xiao's gym application, but asked Xiao's opinion. Of course Xiao agreed. She was now fully focused on the baby in Lian's belly, and Xiao could stay wherever he wanted. When the news that Xiao would serve as the Nibi gym leader came out, it immediately caused widespread discussion in the Wind Kingdom. The residents of Nibi City cheered and looked forward to the early completion of the Nibi gym. You know, Xiao is a veritable high-ranking figure in Sand Village, and his status is much higher than Xiao Ai and Duo Niu. Xiao is Xiao's son. Based on this alone, the Nib Gym has surpassed the Giran Gym, and the Takawa Gym. Nibi City finally has something to show off. In order to welcome Xiao's arrival, the Lord of Nibi City allocated 66 acres of land to build the Nibi Gym. He wants to build the Nib Gym bigger than the Kawaii Gym. Nibi City is speeding up the construction of gyms. And Xiao is capturing new Pokemon. Xiao's ace Pokemon are Nidoking and Scorpio. Both of these Pokemon are ground type and cannot become the face of a gym. Fortunately, Xiao also has LV61 Raiden and L60 Gargan. These two rock-type Pokemon can serve as the face of the gym. But the strength of Raiden and Pangolin is relatively weak. In order to improve Xiao's combat effectiveness, Luo Sha incorporated Xiao into the Steelix unit. Xiao got the chance to subdue Steelix, and he subdued the strongest and ownerless Steelix. This giant Steelix is at level 64. To be on the safe side, Xiao personally goes into battle. Although Xiao was Xiao's adopted son, he still learns some of her skills. Xiao relied on Jinsung and his 7 men to grind the giant steel snake to death. After Xiao captured Steelix, he went to the Raiden Habitat and bought 200 Geodude eggs. The Pokemon Habitat is under the management of the Pokemon Department. Nami gave Xiao a 8.8% discount with a wave of her hand. But all Xiao's money was with Leon, and he still couldn't afford it. Xiao couldn't afford so much money, so he emptied Ebizo's private vault. Of course, Xiao borrowed it in the name of Xiao. Geodude is the starting Pokémon that Xiao prepares for the gym apprentices. Geodude is a blue-quality Pokémon that can eventually evolve into Raiden, a Pokémon with a base stat of 495. Rhinoceros is still one of the three great families of the Sand Village after 7 years of development. The three major families of the Sand Village have changed, and the three Digletts have been excluded from the list. The three starter Pokémons of the Sand Village now are Raiden, Gauntlet, and Nidoking. Raiden and Porcupine are evolved through communication, and are easier to obtain. Thanks to the efforts of many companies, Nidoking Queen has increased the number of Pokémon. Every Sand Ninja can buy a Nido at the Nido base. Among the three starter Pokémons, Raiden is the most popular and is extremely popular in the Wind Kingdom. Xiao uses Geodude as the starting Pokémon for the gym's apprentices, which will definitely attract many young people from the Wind Country. The construction of the Nibi Gym took 4 months. On the day the Nibi Gym was completed, Xiao moved in immediately. The Nibi Gym was built in a magnificent manner, and its architectural style highlighted the characteristics of rocks. Since its construction, this gym quickly became a landmark building in Nibi City. Nibi Gym, Gym Master, Xiao Representative Attribute, Rock Representative Pokémon, Steelix, Raiden. Chapter 153 Elf Base. Luo Sha focuses his energy on rare elves during this year. The Dongfang Oasis was completed and the flying troops had been transferred from the Dongsha Oasis to the Dongfang Oasis. Today, only the Bangura people live in the East Sand Oasis, which is quite deserted. So, Luo Sha went to the World Tree to coax some Quasi-God Pokémon to join the Sand Village. 102 Dragon-type Quasi-God Pokémon moved into the East Sand Oasis at once. Luo Sha also moved the Metagross population from the new island habitat to the Dongsha Oasis. There are a large number of Metagrosses, 33 in total. As the only Quasi-God who can't fly, no one knows what Bangula feels. East Sand Oasis has 155 Quasi-God Pokémon, becoming a Quasi-God base and listed as a forbidden area by the Sand Village. Only a genius ninja rated at S level can go to the East Sand Oasis to capture a Quasi-God Pokémon. This is a rating specifically for the new generation of Sunagakure, and the village will allocate resources based on the rating. Among Rasa's subordinates, Nagato was rated as S level because of his Rinnegan, and Sasori was rated as S level because of his extraordinary talent as a puppeteer. Conan has not yet learned the secret technique of paper escape and is rated A level. Xiongjiayu was rated as A level because of his Uzumaki bloodline and special physique. Xiongjiayu's fighting talent is relatively weak, so he was not rated as S level. As for Yohiko, he is just an all-around loser, and the village gave him a grade of D. Ratings can be changed. Once Xiaonan develops the paper escape technique, he will definitely be able to get an S level rating. Rasa gave all the explosive talisman ninjutsu to Conan, and intentionally guided Conan to develop paper jutsu as for the funds for the detonating talismans. They were naturally obtained by fleecing Kokuzu. Currently, only Nagato and Scorpion have obtained a Quasi-God Pokémon. Nagato chose Iron Dumbbell and Scorpion chose Land Shark. Scorpion is just a 6-year-old child, but he owns 4 rare Pokémon and has become a winner in life. In addition to the Quasi-God base, Luo Sha also built a base of the 3 great families. The base of the 3 great families is the forest in the southern part of Sunagakure. Luo Sha personally went to the new island habitat and persuaded a large number of the 3 starter Pokémon to move into the Sand Village. Luo Sha placed these 3 starter Pokémon in the forest and hired some retired ninjas and medical ninjas to raise them. Now that the Usangia base is officially open for business, people come and go in the forest every day. Although there are people coming and going in the forest, it does not affect customers coming to wash their feet. The tree houses in the center of the forest are still brightly lit at night. Isn't it just that someone was eavesdropping? Some perverted people might even get more excited when being eavesdropped on. Luo Sha was surprised when he discovered the existence of these pornographic industries in the forest. Why are you still doing it in the forest? These people made all kinds of strange noises in the forest every night, seriously affecting the elves' rest. So, Luo Sha sent Zoro to the forest to carry out a crackdown on pornography operation. The big wolfhound was very good at this, and the people caught this time were almost the same group as 2 years ago. The old faces are still there, and there are some new faces. This time, Soren captured 2 acquaintances. One was his old father whose half-body was buried in the ground, and the other was his ex-wife. Well, he caught the 2 in a treehouse. What? A team of police officers suddenly broke in, and the old man who was doing aerobic exercise was frightened so much that he trembled and became paralyzed. Little Gigi can't get hard anymore. The woman immediately picked up the quilt to cover the 2 pieces of dough and huddled behind the old man. When the police ninja saw the two, they looked at each other, not knowing how to deal with the situation. Police Officer A: what should I do? Should I call the minister? Police Officer B: the minister is so nice to us, why don't we keep it a secret from him? Wallen: idiot, of course I should send it to Tomato Daily to ruin their reputation. The minister's reputation cannot be dragged down by these two. Feng Chu: that makes sense. Why didn't I think of this solution? Brother Long, you are really smart. So, when Zoro arrived at the scene, Tomato Daily had already received the news. Zoro made the headlines again, but last time it was the headline of the Sand Village Daily. This time it was the headline of the Tomato Daily. Public opinion in the ninja world was focused on Duo New, but unexpectedly, Tsunagakure came out with even more explosive news. The protagonist is also the chief of police of Sand Village. There are so many talented people in the Sand Village. Zoro single-handedly made green the color of forgiveness. There is a consensus in the ninja world that a green hat means that the wife is cheating on him. Sand Village, Police Department Prison. Ouch, my old waist. Son, I am already this old, I really can't bear this kind of hardship. Woo. Zoro's old father began to act pitifully, lying in front of the railing and crying. I think you're very energetic. How about you stay with the Hyuga family for a few days? Zoro crossed his arms over his chest and said quietly. Soren's old father immediately fell silent and dared not shout anymore. Zoro sneered and turned away. The Great Sword Demon walked to the prison door and spat saliva into the old man's face. The Great Sword Demon looked at the old man with disdain, turned around and followed Zoro's pace. Soren's old father had a bitter face and a tooth fell out of his mouth. The Great Sword Demon bared his front teeth, and now air leaks out when he opens his mouth. But he didn't dare to make trouble at all, because if he went to the Hyuga family, he would really die in his bed. The Hyuga family is not a place for humans to stay. The 5 Hyuga ninjas gave birth to more than 200 babies in 1 year. They use the 10-ingredient tonic soup to keep their kidneys healthy every day, which is scary for men just by looking at it. In particular, Xiao didn't know what medicine she took, and she kept researching aphrodisiacs and sending them to the Hyuga ninja. Hyuga has more than 200 newborns a year, and Xiao has made an indispensable contribution to this. Xiao has no children, but she won the birth award last year. Tsunagakure did not deliberately conceal the news of these 5 Hyuga ninjas. It was already a well-known fact in the ninja world that Tsunagakure created the Hyuga ninja clan in just 1 year. The Hyuga clan of Konoha is already in an uproar. Some of the older generation of Hyuga ninjas were angry to death. Hinata's Byakugan isn't just a matter of disappearing anymore, it's almost overflowing. By that time, the number of Hyuga ninjas in Tsunagakure will exceed that of Hyuga ninjas in Konoha, and the sky cover will be reversed directly, and the Tsunagakure Hyuga will become the main family. Konoha Hyuga is really going to become a joke. The Hyuga clan did not dare to ask the Sands Village for an explanation, so they put pressure on the Hokage to come forward and talk to the Sands Village on their behalf. They supported Danzo Shimura to become Hokage, so Danzo Shimura should at least show some expression. Unfortunately, things did not go as planned, and Shimura Danzo's train of thought was quite strange. Danzo Shimura is the 4th Hokage. Hinata dared to put pressure on him, which really showed that she didn't take him seriously. He doesn't dare to confront Tsunagakure, so does he dare to confront Hyuga? Danzo started to make things difficult for Hinata to prevent her from jumping around all the time and causing unrest in Konoha. The Uchiha nearby brought up a small stool and watched silently, gloating as the Hyuga clan suffered a defeat. Chapter 154, Sand Village's third weird person, Uchiha Yu. The Hyuga clan is not the Uchiha clan, and is not afraid of being hostile to the Konoha high-level officials. Seeing that the situation was not good, the Hyuga clan leader restrained his clan members in time and made the troublesome Hyuga ninjas stay in the clan territory obediently. Ever since Danzo Shimura came to power, the atmosphere in Konoha village has been very bad. Danzo implemented a harsh and cruel policy, causing every ninja to do their missions in fear, for fear that Danzo would find them wrong. Hatake Tsukumo and Akimichi Torufu, who were able to compete with Danzo, have already retired, and now Konoha is ruled by Danzo alone. Although the 4 seasons in the Land of Fire are like spring, Konoha is experiencing a cold winter. Life is so hard that the major ninja clans want to escape even more. On the contrary, the Uchiha clan continue to live as usual because the Uchiha have been steadily targeted. The Uchiha clan lived on the very edge of Konoha, and given the Uchiha clan's bad reputation, no one would hang around the Uchiha clan's territory. Uchiha Tenshin had foresight and gradually transferred the power of the police department to other ninja clans. Aside from being watched by the root ninja, the Uchiha had less and less contact with the village. The Uchiha clan had already suffered heavy losses in the war, and this year more than 100 people died while on missions, causing the Uchiha population to become even more sparse. For some unknown reason, more than 100 red-eyed ninjas suddenly popped out of stones in the Sands village within this year. They are all handsome guys, and the mood of the Sands village female ninjas has visibly improved. Fugaku would meet with a group of matchmakers every day to arrange marriages for the family's ninjas. Fugaku found that this was a great way for the Uchiha to quickly integrate into the Sand village, so how could he refuse such a good opportunity? It's just that the atmosphere in Sunagakure is really open. In Konoha, there is no female ninja so bold as to run up to someone's door and ask for marriage. That's right, this bold female ninja is Duoni. Before going to Takuwa Gym, Duonyu made a special trip to Uchiha. Duonyu proposed to marry Uchiha Yu and was willing to give Uchiha Yu the position of big husband. Yu is Fugaku's eldest cousin, 24 years old, and an elite jonin with 3 Magatama. Fugaku was deeply shocked by Duoti's attack and firmly rejected Duoti's outrageous request. The glory of Uchiha cannot be tarnished. How could an Uchiha ninja marry into another family, let alone some weird husband? However, this matter has not yet ended, and Fugaku is now extremely troubled. Cousin, I must marry Duonyu. If you don't agree, I will hang myself here. Uchiha Yu stood in front of the white silk, looking ready to die. Cousin, calm down. Duonyu is not a good person. You can marry anyone, why her? Fugaku calmly drank his tea and persuaded. For the nth time Yu has used this tactic of threatening to commit suicide countless times, and Fugaku has become accustomed to it. No, you don't understand. No other bitch can compare to Duonyu. Look at what Duonyu said in the newspaper. It's really hot. She is the only one in the world, and I am willing to marry only her. Yu looked like he was in love, and became more and more excited as he spoke. Fugaku was speechless. That was clearly the speech of a scumbag woman. How cool is that? Yu has been making a fuss for 3 months, and is determined to marry and dig wild vegetables. Fugaku felt that after marrying Duonyu, he would have to eat wild vegetables for the rest of his life. How could a man be sincere to such a bad woman? However, no matter how Fugaku tried to persuade him, it was useless. Fugaku thinks this is a problem with the culture of Sunagakure. There are just so many weird people in Sunagakure. Strange things will only happen when the Uchiha join Sunagakure. Fugaku originally didn't want to pay any attention to you, but you kept crying and making a fuss about marrying Duonyu. Because the fuss was so big, the matter was reported in the newspaper. Uchiha gained great fame in the ninja world. The last time an Uchiha was so prominent was when Uchiha Madara was in power. But isn't this too embarrassing? What Fugaku didn't know was that Uchiha Tenshin, who was far away in Konoha, was so angry that he created a Mangekyo. Why is Uchiha Tenshin so angry? This involves a secret history. Uchiha Tenshin's first love was Uchiha Yu's mother. They promised to fly together forever. Unfortunately, Tengshan was betrothed and forced to marry the granddaughter of the great elder. Tengshan doesn't like his wife and still loves his first love. After getting married, Tengshan still kept in touch with his first love and often went to her house to repair the water pipes. In fact, Uchiha Yu is the bloodline of Uchiha Tenshin. This bloody history was buried deep in Tengshan's heart. Only Tengshan himself knew that Yu was his son. Tengshan didn't expect that sending his son to the Sands village would cause such a big mess. Fugaku looked at Yu, who was threatening to commit suicide, and he almost wanted to nod and agree to Yu, but he thought of the letter Tengshan wrote to him, asking him not to marry Yu to that scumbag. No matter what, Yu is still his cousin. Fugaku had no choice but to hypnotize Yu with illusion and ran to ask Ebizo for help. Ebizo was drinking some wine, and after hearing what Fugaku said, he spat out a mouthful of wine. Fugaku was sprayed in the face. He wiped his face and continued to ask Ebizo for help. In fact, Ebizo feels that Duonyu and Yu are a perfect match. However, Yu is Fugaku's cousin, so he naturally cannot say that. Why? Don't you let Yu worship Li Feng as your master? That way, Duonyu will definitely not dare to bully you in the future. Ebizo thought of another weirdo in the sand village, and came up with a bad idea. It's just right to bring 3 weirdos together. Qi Luo and Zhongyu looked at Eberzo in horror. Such a vicious idea. Seems great. Fugaku thought about it for a while and felt that it made a lot of sense. Instead of trying to stop you from marrying Duonyu, it would be better to buy insurance for you. Make sure no one dares to mess with you in many houses. Just by relying on the 4 words personally taught by Li Feng, you has already gained a semi-invincible buff. Oh. Take care of Li Feng in advance. Li Feng is worried about not having a successor. Seeing that Fugaku was interested, Ebizo took a sip of wine with satisfaction. Thank you, master. Fugaku clasped his fists. Looking grateful, Fugaku returned to the clan land and came to Yu's bed. At this moment, Yu's face was pale, his eyes were dull, and he looked like he was not worthy of being in this world. Cousin, I can promise you, but you must first become Master Li Feng's disciple. When you return after completing your studies, the Uchiha will marry you off in grand style. Really? Yu's pale face immediately turned rosy, and he excitedly grabbed Fugaku's hand. Real? Fugaku nodded helplessly. He couldn't stop his cousin at all. Yu lost his parents when he was young, and opened to Magatama in anger. This also caused problems for him psychologically, and he longed very much for the feeling of being loved. But the Uchiha family is highly competitive and advocates a wolf culture. Everyone is a competitor, so no one would care about Yu. Yu's psychological problems grew worse and worse, and he became more and more depressed, and he opened the 3 Magatama at the age of 16. Just a little later than Fugaku. Yu is the second genius of the Uchiha generation and was sent to the Sand Village by Tenshin. After Yu came to the Sand Village, he accidentally met Duoni. The care that Doi gave him made him unforgettable for a long time, and Yu had a deep affection for Doi. At this moment, he finally got his wish and was able to marry Duoni. Chapter 155 Double 2 Disaster Day. Again, warm reminder, don't eat while reading this chapter. March 34th. The 12th year of Tsunagakure. Yu immediately ran to the Tsunagakure public toilet, and the base next to it. This is Master Gale's experimental base, one of the famous attractions in Sand Village, and the Shit Escape base. It is also known as the first forbidden area of Sand Village. Afei and Shining Mud are Li Feng's right-hand men, and many ordinary muds are Li Feng's subordinates. The forbidden area was filled with stinking mud and unspeakable pollutants, and no one dared to enter. Because of the existence of Li Feng, the Lai clan defeated the Jia clan and the Zhuang clan and became the #1 ninja clan in Sand Village. But the reputation of the Lai clan was completely shattered, and the Chaochuni clan was no joke. Whenever you passed by here, he would speed away. But this time, he wanted to take Li Feng as his master, so he had to go in and find Li Feng. Yu took a deep breath, lowered his head and rushed in fight for love. As Yu entered the base, he fell because the ground is slippery. Yu sat up, supported himself on the ground with his hands, and found that his hands were sticky. The touch doesn't feel right. The base was very dark and you couldn't see what was on the ground. Yu's face turned pale. He seemed to have guessed it, but he didn't smell that smell. Mud. Yu heaved a sigh of relief when he heard the call of the stinky mud under his feet. It turned out to be a stinky mud. Luckily it wasn't shit. This stinky mud is the gatekeeper of the base. Since no one has ever dared to break into the base, the stinky mud just lies on the ground and sleeps. But Chaochuni didn't expect that someone would dare to break into the base today. Stinky mud immediately started to fight back, spraying mud shots from its mouth towards Yu. At this time, Yu was falling on the stinky mud and was hurt by the mud shooting. Ah, big brother, stop hitting me, I was wrong. Yu's face was covered in mud and he accidentally took a bite. After being attacked, Yu immediately bounced up to avoid the subsequent attacks from stinky mud. 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 I spray, I spray, I spray. Stinky mud was enraged by Yu and began to attack continuously. Yu relied on the Sharingan to dodge in the small passage of the base, avoiding all attacks. Stinky mud stopped attacking and looked at Yu breathlessly, ready to go all out. Stinky mud's eyes were fierce, and he gathered his strength to shoot out a sludge bomb. With a loud bang, Yu was soaked like a chicken covered in shit. Yu's eyes were dull, he smelled an indescribable smell. He finally realized that something was wrong with the mud. This smell, this is not mud. Yu licked his lips, confirmed his guess, and lay on the ground and vomited. Ugh. Yu felt so sick that he almost vomited bile, and his spirit completely collapsed. Uchiha's eyes showed a fan-shaped pattern of 5 parts humiliation, 4 parts anger, and 1 part grievance. The 3 Magatama on the fan-shaped diagram slowly flowed and gradually gathered into the shape of a windmill. Yu lowered his head, his body trembling. Ha. Ha 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 ha. Yu's Mouth gradually opened and he began to laugh wildly. Black flames burned on his body. Gale's base exploded. A giant Susanoo was killing people in the base. Shiny Mud commanded the other Muds to form a 9-curve yellow shit formation to resist with all their might. Seeing that the situation was not good, A Fei immediately notified Li Feng. Li Feng quickly rushed to the battlefield and became anxious when he saw that the Stinky Muds were at a disadvantage. The Stinky Muds in his base are all his treasures. He would be heartbroken if he lost one. It took these Stinky Mud guys 2.5 years to learn the 9-bend yellow shit formation. You can imagine the effort he put in. There are as many as 110 sealing techniques used in it. Regardless of the consequences, Li Feng took out machine guns and cannons and launched the S-level shit escape, multiple mud bomb technique, on. This day, the sand village was completely destroyed because public toilets are located in residential areas, which are the most densely populated areas. Dad, look at the sky, it's raining yellow. It's so beautiful. A little girl pointed to the sky excitedly and said innocently, "What? Yellow rain?" The man looked up and stared at the sky curiously. Oh, indeed, as he was speaking, a spot of mud fell on the man's face. Shit. The man picked up some mud with his finger, tasted it, and found something wrong. Run. It's raining shit from the sky. The man immediately picked up his daughter and ran back home as fast as he could. Oh my god, this weather is terrible. Oh my god, this is a wonder of the ages. You're still in the mood to complain. Run. Sidnook is doing its daily patrol in the residential area, eating the candies given by the children. It had just opened a candy and was about to throw it into its mouth when a speck of mud fell on the candy. Qua. Sidnook stared blankly at the candy in his hand, with his head tilted, not reacting to what was happening. For some reason, all the mud spots avoided Sidnook and fell around it. Sidnook looked at the yellow mud spots around him and smelled something. Sidnook always felt that this scene was familiar, as if it was a black guy last time. Cuck. A wave of bad memories came to his mind, but Sidnook screamed and its body glowed blue. The entire sky of the sand village was covered in blue light, forming a protective shield that blocked the rain from the sky. Duck is so handsome. Wow. You are worthy of being called the duck god. Hold the grass. Awesome. The residents noticed that the mud spots in the sky stopped falling, and they all gathered around Sidnook, praising it with words that made its face blush. R.A. Blush flashed across Sidnook's face and he touched his head embarrassingly. Sidnook's spell was interrupted because he was shy. No one noticed that the blue shield in the sky disappeared. After that, everyone ran back home with mosaics on their bodies and scrubbed their bodies vigorously. At the center of the battlefield, all the cage-level warriors from the sand village have arrived. The fight between Li Feng and Yu was stopped, and both were tied up like dumplings. Even if Tsunagakure doesn't punish them, the two of them will go bankrupt just by paying compensation for mental damage. On this day, the villagers of Sand Village were filled with resentment. This incident was recorded in history as the Double 12 Disaster Day. Luo Sha came forward and made up a story, claiming that aliens attacked the Sand Village, successfully diverting people's grievances. Sand Village Police Department Prison. Zoro looked at Li Feng and Yu in front of him, not knowing how to start the interrogation. Li Feng and Yu didn't have time to change their clothes, so they are still dressed in yellow. But the two of them acted as if nothing had happened and were in the mood to chat. Zoro was afraid that if he offended the two of them too much, his life would be difficult in the future. His ruthless swordsmanship has been cultivated to the 12th level, and he has become a hidden boss in the Sand Village. It's not that he can't beat the two of them, it's that he doesn't want them to fight. If you win, your mentality explodes, and if you lose, your mentality explodes even more. Zoro pondered for a moment, threw 2 confession letters to the 2 men, and stood up and left. Li Feng and Yu signed and admitted all the crimes. The fight between the two affected a large area, but actually no buildings were destroyed. Only the Li Feng base was destroyed, while the public toilets next to the base were intact. Afterwards, the streets were cleaned up by the Stinky Muds, and everything that Sand Village had experienced today seemed like a dream. As for the mental damages suffered by the villagers, they were naturally borne by the aliens. The two were put in solitary confinement for a month and were required to pay compensation to the suffering villagers. Li Feng and Yu got to know each other through fighting, and they became close friends regardless of age difference during this month. Especially after knowing that Yu came to become his disciple, Li Feng was so happy. He finally found his successor. The two became both teachers and friends, And Li Fang's team successfully added a new member. Li Fang patiently taught you the secret art of shit escape and gave you 6 extremely talented stinky muds. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelists. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 156 Yuan Duo Niu and number 039, S Marriage. On the second day, there was another disturbance in the ninja world. The messenger bird chirped as it carried the daily tomato on its back. The people in the ninja world immediately realized that there was big news again today. Tomato Daily's headline: Uchiha eats shit to chase his wife, ranked first on the hot search list. As expected of the famous Uchiha, respect, but not understanding. This version is really ahead of its time. It's really hot. After hearing the rumors, the Uchiha ninjas of Konoha all became withdrawn and hid in their homes, not daring to see anyone. Fugaku had a miserable time cleaning up Yu's mess and almost lost all his family fortune. The ninjas of the Rei clan were equally unlucky and had to spend a large sum of money to compensate the villagers. The Lai clan lived a tight life, but their clan leader was living a life of luxury in the police department's jail. Zoro, bring 2 plates of 13 spice crayfish and lamb kebabs. Record. It in Lai's account, Li Fang. And you had no sense of being in prison and ordered meals as usual every day. Baga, can you two just behave yourself? Zoro grabbed Li Fang's collar and roared. Hey, be gentle, there are seals engraved on my clothes. When Zoro heard this, he immediately dodged and ran away. A month later, Li Fang and Yu were released from prison in high spirits. During this month, Yu completely opened the door to New World. Yu's mental state has obviously been polluted by the fierce wind, and he has now mutated. Li Fang is the mentor who guides him onto a new path. Though the world does not understand Li Fang, that is because of its vulgarity. He could understand. This was Li Fang's pursuit of his dream. It's just that Li Fang's dream is too niche. The news that Li Fang accepted a disciple made the headlines of both Tomato Daily and Sand Village Daily. The master and disciple are known as the Shit Escape Duo, and are truly unique in the ninja world. With Li Fang's support, Yu went to several families to propose marriage. As Yu's master, Li Fang took the responsibility of preparing a dowry for Yu. Duofu and Lala broke out in cold sweats when they saw the 2 people coming to their door. How could Duofu dare to refuse? He accepted the dowry while crying. Brother Duofu, why are you still crying? It's not your daughter marrying you, it's you marrying your daughter. You should be happy. Li Fang was very puzzled and tried to comfort Duofu. Happy, I am so happy. Duofu wiped his tears, forced a smile, and laughed while crying. Alice, I only have you as my apprentice. When Yu marries me in the future, you must treat him well. Li Fang sighed and patted Duofu on the shoulder. Yes, we will definitely treat you well. Woo. Duofu couldn't help crying out loud with excitement. Duofu was unable to solve the mess, so he called Duoniu back, who told Duoniu to provoke Uchiha. Now he can't get rid of him. After Duoniu learned what happened in the village, he felt like he was struck by lightning and refused to go back to the village no matter what. She lived a carefree life in Takawa Gym, with a bunch of handsome men around her all day long. Her life has just begun. Back then, Li Fang and Yu ran to the Takawa Gym and brought Duoniu back to the Sand Village. Duoniu is the protagonist of the wedding. Without Duoniu, the marriage cannot be completed. Duoniu was pointed at by Li Fang's 18-barrel cannon and was captured back to the Sand Village with a sad face. Yu is an Uchiha ninja, with traditional black hair, red eyes, an oval face, delicate features, fair skin and beautiful looks. Otherwise, Duoniu would not have been blinded by her beauty and took the initiative to provoke Yu. However, Yu has now become Li Fang's apprentice and the leader of the new school. Every time Duoniu sees Yu now, he will think of some indescribable objects. It's really hard to stretch. Even though Yu has a handsome face, Duoniu has no sexual interest in Yu Sheng. More importantly, she can't beat Yu. Duoniu felt that his dream of having a harem was shattered. After Duoniu returned to the Sand Village, he locked himself in the room, squatted in the corner and drew circles, crying. Life is so dramatic, no one knows what will happen next. On January 35th of the first year of Sand Village, Duoniu and Yu got married. Li Fang was so worried about Yu's wedding that he personally went to the house to invite all the senior ninjas. Duoniu looks very handsome in his suit. Yu was wearing a gorgeous wedding dress. The hem of the dress fluttered like flowing clouds, swaying with his steps, which was incredibly beautiful. Everyone's expression was the same, and their mouths could fit a duck egg. Luo Sha rubbed his eyes to make sure that his vision was not blurry. What a weird scene, but why do they feel so perfect? These two are truly a match made in heaven. Luo Sha didn't notice that Xiao, who was sitting next to him, had shining eyes and showed an extremely admiring look towards Duo Niu's Ian and never thought that it was possible to get married this way. Conan looked at the heartless Yahiko and showed a determined smile. At the moment, Yahiko was eating and drinking with a chicken leg in his left hand and a chicken claw in his right hand, and he didn't notice Conan's strange gaze at all. Scorpion, who witnessed the whole process, silently picked up a piece of cabbage and lowered his head to concentrate on eating. Scorpio, I didn't see it. I didn't see anything. Fugaku and Tachibana smiled awkwardly and invited everyone to take their seats. Jinduado watched this scene excitedly and called on his subordinate Morgans to take pictures as much as possible so that they would be on the headlines of Tomato Daily tomorrow. Morgans didn't need Jinduado to urge him at all. He was already trembling with excitement. Big news! Big news! A marriage between the wealthy families of Konoha and the Sands Village family, the pioneer of female husband and male wife. Many companies are rubbing Uchiha's face on the ground. Morgan's mind raced as he came up with a headline with Li Fang in charge. The wedding went extremely smoothly at night. The moon and stars are rare. Duo Niu was drunk and pushed open the door of the bridal chamber with unsteady steps. Although Duo Niu is surrounded by 100 handsome men all day long, she is a responsible woman. She won't have sex with a man before getting married. She had finally managed to chase after 3 men at the Takuwa gym and was about to marry them. However, plans could not keep up with changes. And she was caught and married to you. How sad she was, because those were her 3 young husbands. Duo Niu plucked up his courage and walked into the house. Tonight was actually her first time, so it was inevitable that she was nervous. When Duo Niu saw the beauty behind the curtain, he paused and became drunk. Can I find a little husband? Duo Niu opened his mouth and spoke out his thoughts. The atmosphere in the room fell into an eerie silence, and you did not respond for a long time. Of course, I can satisfy you with any kind of man you want. After a long time, Yu raised the corners of his mouth and revealed a hint of Cha-Cha's smile. Huh? Really? Yu stood up, walked slowly to Duo Niu, hooked Duo Niu's belt, leaned close to Duo Niu's ear and whispered, "Husband, it's time for us to enter the bridal chamber." The atmosphere in the room became gradually tense. Duo Niu seemed to have a dream tonight. The man under her would change his appearance every time. She had the illusion of being happy with many men. She was clearly on top, but the initiative didn't seem to be in her hands. Female supremacy is for I, riding is too fancy. Chapter 157. Bell Tower and Stormy Sea. After coming to the Sands Village a year ago to obtain the seeds of fertility, to die and return to the land of the end, the 3 cloud gods are mythical beasts of the same level as the 3 sacred birds. The increase in the priesthood of the power of abundance is the same as the freezing power of Articuno. Abundant authority. 1. It can ensure good weather in an area and bring a good harvest to the people. 2. Land clouds. All attributes are increased by 50%, and ground attacks are increased by an additional 50%. Zapdos also broke through LV81 half a year ago and obtained the power of lightning through the 3 sacred stones. Lightning power. 1. It can attract a large area of thunder clouds. Under the thunder clouds, the lightning bird's electric attack is increased by 50%. 2. All attributes of Zapdos are increased by 50%, and electric attacks are increased by an additional 50%. In normal weather conditions, all attributes of the Zapdos are increased by 50%, and its attack is increased by 100%. During thunderstorms, the attack power can increase by 150%. After Zapdos obtained the power of lightning, he hurried to Snow Mountain and fought with Articuno. It has been waiting for this day for a long time. It wants to establish itself as the leader of the 3 sacred birds. However, Zapdos did not take into account the effects of weather. In the environment of the snow country, Zapdos can never compete with Articuno in terms of weather. I can only say that the 3 silly birds live up to their reputation. Heavy snow was falling, and Articuno's power increase was higher than Zapdos, so he slapped Zapdos. The Zapdos was beaten badly, forced to sign an unequal treaty, became the temporary second in command, and returned to the Yukon Habitat in disgrace. After attending Yu and Duo Niu's wedding, Luo Sha returned home and opened the system. The 6 Pokemon on the system hang-up bar are LV94 Mewtwo, LV75 Rayquaza, LV74 Bangira, LV74 Metagross, LV72 Diglett, and LV71 Lycanroc. After Pangyangui reached LV71, the AFK bar was lowered. As a weatherman, Pangyangui's current strength is completely sufficient. All of Luo Sha's team of elves have entered the shadow level sequence, and the 2 new elves have also joined the elf hall. The Lord of the Mountains, Pangyangui Wolf of the Day, Werewolf of the Main Rock. The real power of the AFK system lies in the fact that it upgrades by 1 level every year. As a 6th path level being, Mutuo is upgraded by 3 levels with the help of the autoplay system. If it is a normal improvement, it will probably take hundreds of years. Xiao Ai exchanged the Bell Tower Habitat and the Storm Sea Habitat. Luo Sha has been saving money for the past 2 years and finally saved up 200 million elf coins. He can redeem 2 red habitats. He didn't have an urgent need for any of the legendary beasts right now, so he exchanged the habitats of Ho-Oh and Lugia in order. Ding. Congratulations to the host for completing the exchange. Please check. Xiao Ai was very efficient this time and quickly put the 2 scrolls into the system space. Same recipe, same taste. 2 huge natural energy fluctuations came one after another, which meant that 2 elf habitats were successfully established in the ninja world. The center of the Storm Sea is located between the Kingdom of Waves and the Kingdom of Fire, and the sea area covers 20 square kilometers. The Storm Sea habitat covers the Land of Waves and is home to mainly Psychic type, Water type, and Flying type Pokemon. The Land of Waves is a gathering place for Psychic type Pokemon, including Alakazam, Kirin, Birdwing, Coconut Tree, Slowking, and Gardevoir. What surprised Luo Sha the most was that there were Latias and Latias tribes on the island of Wave Country. The Land of Waves is just a small island country. Because its area is so small, Luo Sha has never paid attention to it. Now that the Kingdom of Waves has a tribe of divine beasts and its value has risen dramatically, Luo Sha naturally wants to bring the Kingdom of Waves into his territory. The positioning of Wave Country is very similar to the Water City in the Pokemon world, and Latias are the guardians of the Water City. On the archipelago next to the Land of Waves, there lives a tribe of 3 sacred birds. Each tribe has more than 80 elves, totaling 250. Maybe Xiao Ai also thinks that the 3 stupid birds are a bunch of idiots. The 3 sacred stones are in Luo Sha's hands, so the 3 sacred birds must get Luo Sha's consent if they want to become gods. However, Articuno and Zapdos have already become gods, and now only Moltres' position is vacant. This throne is undoubtedly reserved for Yukang's Moltres. All I can say is that reincarnation is a technical job. Luo Sha has already developed feelings for that Moltres. Lugia is known as the god of the sea, and is also known as the god of storms and ocean currents. There are 3 Lugia in Storm Sea, with levels of LV95, LV85, and LV49 respectively. Apparently this is a combination of 2 adult Lugia and 1 baby Lugia. Lugia is the dominant Pokemon of the Storm Sea. They are the only 6 paths and Super Shadow level Pokemon in the Storm Sea. Below Lugia, there are 10 Shadow level Pokemon. They are LV78 Entheos, LV78 Latias, LV77 Articuno, LV77 Zapdos, LV77 Moltres, LV75 Alakazam, LV73 Kirin, LV72 Gyarados, LV71 Alachka, LV71 Dialave. The Bell Tower habitat is located in the 8 provinces, close to the Whirlpool country, and covers an area of 150,000 square kilometers. The terrain of this area is mainly plains, with fertile land and suitable climatic conditions. The ecological environment is rich and diverse, and there are many elves. The special thing about the Ring Tower habitat is that all of its orange quality Pokemon are the 3 sacred beasts under the throne of the Phoenix King, Entei, Rikau, and Suicune. The number of the 3 sacred beasts reached 291, with 97 elves in each race. Based on this alone, the quality of the Bell Tower habitat is already extremely high, and it is among the best even among red habitats. As the overlord Pokemon of Bell Tower, Ho-Oh has a high level of LV95 and is the only 6th path level Pokemon in Bell Tower. Under Ho-Oh, there are also 9 shadow level Pokemon: LV79 Entei, LV79 Suicune, LV79 Rikau, LV73 Tortoise, LV73 Tajikus, LV72 Orochi, LV71 Flareon, LV71 Jolteon, LV71 Vaporeon. The number of EV in the Bell Tower habitat was beyond Luo Sha's understanding. There are as many as 3,000 Pokemon in the EV tribe. The key is that the habitat of the Ibrahimovic population is very close to the 3 sacred beasts population. There must be a close connection between the 3 sacred beasts and EV. Let Orochimaru study it when he is free. Rasa added another burden to Orochimaru without any psychological burden. Luo Sha called Mutuo to go to the zone of End to pick up Groudon, and then used instant teleportation to teleport to the Storm Sea. Lugia and Ho-Oh are both gentle divine beasts, so perhaps Rasa can convince them directly. If you really can convince them, then use your fists. Rasa has the Crimson Orb, and the original Groudon has reached LV 98 in strength, which can definitely defeat Lugia and Ho-Oh. Chapter 158 The Legend of the Sea God. The Kingdom of Waves and the Kingdom of Fire are separated by the sea, and the people travel between them by ships. Both the Land of Fire and the Land of Waves have subtropical monsoon climates, with spring-like weather all year round and a pleasant climate. Such mild climatic conditions make the sea route between the two countries very safe. Without the trouble of extreme weather, this means that trade between the two countries can continue uninterruptedly at any time of the year, whether it is hot summer or cold in winter. Ships can pass through this sea area smoothly. Merchants did not have to worry about storms or severe cold their voyages, nor did they have to suspend trading due to seasonal changes. But all that suddenly changed. The originally calm sea surface, suddenly threatening, became turbulent, and countless lightning flashed across the sky, as if to tear the entire world apart. The dark clouds in the sky gathered more and more, forming a huge black vortex that seemed to swallow everything. The wind howled, creating huge waves that swept towards the shore. The storm sea has formed. The ships sailing on the sea were facing the sudden storm. The merchant ship was struggling on the sea, its sails were in tatters and its hull was shaken by the waves. A group of small fishing boats were also struggling forward not far away, and the fishermen were holding on to their fishing nets tightly, trying to maintain their balance. The people looked at the sea around them in horror, knowing that they were in the midst of a terrible storm. On a fishing boat, an old man shouted in disbelief, "Damn it! I've been fishing in the sea all my life, and this is the first time I've encountered weather like this." "Dad, don't panic, just look at me. Sea lion, giant claw crab, I am counting on you." The young man next to the old man comforted him, took out the Pokeball and released a fat sea lion and a giant crab. "Akai, luckily you're a trainer." Seeing this, the old man felt a little relieved. Ahai is his son. He has traveled all over the country over the years and made a great name for himself in the 8 provinces of the Kingdom of Wind. Fortunately, Ahai came back to visit him these days and accompanied him to go fishing, otherwise he would really die in this storm. The sea lion and the giant crab tied a rope together and pulled the fishing boat hard towards the Kingdom of Waves. As time went on, the storm became more and more severe, and the waves continued to hit the ship. Ahai and the old man had no time to care about others. They could only barely save themselves at this moment. Just when everyone was in despair, a low groan came from the sea. The voice was low and melodious, like a call from ancient times. As the voice sounded, a mysterious force began to spread around. A giant blue and white bird rushed out of the sea. Its wings spread out to be dozens of meters wide, and its feathers sparkled with crystal light. It raised its head and chirped, then spread its wings and flew high into the dark clouds. The giant bird circled in the sky, and the dark clouds began to retreat, dispersed by an invisible force. As the dark clouds dissipated, the storm gradually subsided and the sea returned to calm. Lugia flew back into the deep sea and disappeared from everyone's sight. The sun once again shone on the sea, and everything that had just happened seemed like a dream. People cheered and thanked the mysterious giant bird for saving them. "This is Poseidon." Ahai supported himself on the edge of the boat with both hands and said in shock. He likes Pokémon and has read various works on Pokémon. As a water-type trainer, what he admired most were the legends related to the sea. Lugia, Manaphy, Kyogre, Lugia's huge momentum and unique abilities all reveal its identity. The legendary sea god. Many merchant ships and fishing boats came ashore one after another, and Lugia's deeds spread widely in the Land of Waves. Ahai took the lead in establishing an organization to support Lugia, calling themselves the People of the Sea. Merchants and fishermen who had experienced the storm joined in and became part of the Sea People. They built a temple on the coast of Wave Country, and people came there to pray every day. Lugia was teasing little Lugia in the deep sea, and suddenly raised his head and looked into the distance. That is the Land of Waves. The Kingdom of Waves is within its territory, and its perception ability covers this area. As a psychic-type divine beast, Lugia can sense the most sincere prayers of its believers, but it didn't expect that a fanatic would be born so soon. When Lugia first came to the ninja world, he valued his first fanatical believer very much, so it sent its blessing to the fanatic. Blessing of the Sea God. Storm God 1. Gaining the favor of Lugia makes it easier to gain affinity with water and flying Pokemon. 2. If you command water or flying Pokemon to fight, all attributes of Pokemon will increase by 5%. 3. The aptitude of the water and flying Pokemon you possess will slowly improve in the temple. Ai clasped his hands together, closed his eyes, and prayed silently as the prayer ended. Ai opened his eyes and a wonderful feeling suddenly surged into his heart. He seemed to feel an invisible force taking away his fatigue, and his body began to relax. Ai took a deep breath and stepped out of the temple gate. The sea breeze blew towards him, bringing with it a salty scent, gently brushing his face. Ai on the beach, gazing quietly at the vast ocean. The sun shines on the sea, the waves sparkle with dazzling light. The waves hit the shore, making waves, like a beautiful melody played by nature. Suddenly, Ai felt a strange connection, as if some special resonance had been established between him and the sea. He seemed to understand the mood of the sea, and at this moment the sea was welcoming his arrival. He couldn't help but feel a love and reverence for the sea. Luo Sha came to the surface of the sea, and his superpowers enabled him to sense that Lugia is on the seabed right below him. Mutuo uses telepathy to call out to Lugia. In just a moment, 3 Lugia flew out of the sea and came in front of Luo Sha. Name: Logia. Gender: none. Attributes: psychic. Flying features: pressure level, LV 95. Clergy: storm, 100%. Individual: 6 vote. Skills: divine bird attack, predict the future. Water cannon, pray for rain. Cyclone attack, self. Regeneration, meditation. Divine power, mysterious guardian. Storm power 1. Lugia will protect travelers in the storm and bless those who are important to him. Limited to 3 people, 2 in stormy weather. Lugia's attributes are increased by 200%. 3. Capable of controlling storms and canceling large-scale storm climates, name: Logia. Gender: none. Attributes: psychic. Flying features: multiple scales. Level: LV 85. Individual: 5 volt, HP 31, attack 29, defense 31, special attack 31, special defense 31, speed 31. Skills: briefly. Name: Lugia. Flash. Gender: none. Attributes: psychic. Flying features: oppressive feeling, multiple scales. Level: LV 49. Individual: 5 volt, HP 31, attack 29, defense 31, special attack 31, special defense 31, speed 31. Skills: briefly. Chapter 159. Flash. Lugia. Luo Sha's attention was instantly drawn to the little Lugia shiny Pokemon. Little Lugia's body is red and white, quite Shamit. Shiny Pokemon have some special advantages, such as dual characteristics. This is the second shiny Pokemon that Rosa has seen, the first being Gale's shiny Muddy. Alila. According to Ishimaru's research, the toxicity of shiny slime is stronger, 1.5 times that of ordinary slime. Luo Sha guessed that the reason why shiny Mud had a single trait was because both of its parents had the poisonous hand trait, which resulted in it inheriting only this one trait. Little Lugia's parents have different characteristics, which resulted in it inheriting 2 characteristics. Pokemon with dual attributes are extremely rare, and Rosa Psyduck is a Pokemon with dual attributes. Psyduck is not a shiny Pokemon. Psyduck's second characteristic comes from mutation. Little Lugia felt Rosa's fiery gaze and shyly hid behind his mother Lugia, but out of curiosity, little Lugia secretly stuck his head out and looked at Luo Sha. Chosen 1, welcome. I will assist you. This is the mission entrusted to me by the god of creation. Lugia's father flew forward to negotiate with Rosa. The god of creation? Arceus. Luo Sha didn't expect Arceus to be so responsible and even take care of after-sales service at the beginning. Mutuo followed Arceus only after he gave him instructions. So what about Groudon? If it weren't for the cliff sword given to him by Xiao Ai, he probably wouldn't be able to negotiate with Groudon. Could it be that Arceus missed out on Groudon's after-sales service? If Arceus were here, he would definitely tell Rosa that Groudon is not smart enough to understand the language of elves. Therefore, Rosa can only gain Groudon's favor through other means. Sword of the Cliff is the after-sales guarantee. However, Arceus was not with Luo Sha at the moment and could not answer Luo Sha's questions. Rosa never doubted Groudon's intelligence and could only put the blame on Arceus. 6. Chosen 1. I need to protect the Storm Sea and cannot leave here for a long time. Please take my child in. You can call him Luo. Lugia's father said that its divine mission came from heaven and earth, which resulted in it being restricted to a certain extent. More importantly, it wanted to give this opportunity to little Lugia. Little Lugia was conquered by Rosa, and his future is limitless if little Lugia is allowed to grow on his own. It will take at least several hundred years for him to break through to the super shadow level. If little Lugia follows Rosa, he will not only be able to grow quickly, but also have the opportunity to obtain a priesthood. In the Pokemon world, the god of creation stipulates that a group of beast legends can only have one priesthood. And in this new world, there are still many vacant priesthoods. Lugia had just arrived in the ninja world and was extremely unfamiliar with this world. He didn't know how to plan for the throne of God for little Lugia. As the chosen one, Luo Sha will definitely have the opportunity to obtain the priesthood. Lugia appears to be honest and simple-minded on the surface, but he is calculating inside. As a father, Lugia is really worried about little Lugia. If little Lugia didn't get the priesthood, Lugia would choose to retire and pass on the storm priesthood to little Lugia. Don't worry, I will definitely treat Xiao Luo well. Luo Sha wiped the non-existent saliva from the corner of his mouth. He didn't expect Lugia to give the child to him. This is a shining beast. If possible, I hope you can find a priesthood for Xiao Luo, even a secondary priesthood, please. Lugia pulled little Lugia in front of Rosa and patted little Lugia's head with its wings. I can't guarantee it, but if there is a chance, I will definitely find a priesthood for Xiao Luo. Luo Sha immediately made a promise to Lugia. Thank you very much, chosen one. This is my blessing. I hope you can accept it. A strange blue light emerged from Lugia's body, and the light was fleeting. Luo Sha has a very strong sense of natural energy and can clearly feel the blessings given to him by heaven and earth. Little Lugia knew he was going to leave, so he hugged his parents reluctantly and cried. Then, little Lugia turned around, unable to hide his joy, and flew to Luo Sha impatiently. Woo! Woo! Human, please subdue me. Little Lugia's Sichuan opera face changing is really amazing. It has never traveled far since it was born, so it has an immense yearning for the outside world. Hello, Xiao Luo, you can call me Luo Sha. Luo Sha smiled and took out a master ball. Woohoo! Little Lugia responded, flapped its wings on the master ball, and disappeared in red light. New achievement, God of the Sea, God of Storms. Congratulations to the host for conquering Lugia and obtaining the special item, Vast Sea Cover. Vast Sea Universe Cover, an item obtained from a magical world, upgraded and modified by Xiao Ai. It contains the authority of ocean currents, secondary authority, and is limited to use by Super Shadow level Lugia. Xiao Ai, host, don't love me too much, okay? Luo Sha raised his eyebrows and took out a Vast Sea Universe cover from the system space as expected of Xiao Ai. She has all kinds of bird props. The blue bowl shimmered in the sunlight, and the two Lugia's small eyes stared straight at the bowl. The breath of priesthood. This is priesthood related to the sea. Lugia's father screamed in surprise. It was the first time in his life that he saw a clerical item in the Pokemon world. Only the tablet of Arceus can grant divine office. If Pokemon wants to find divine items, it can only try its luck in outer space. But ordinary Pokemon cannot live in space, let alone find items in space. No new gods have been born in the Pokemon world for thousands of years. Rosa released little Lugia from the Master Ball and placed a bowl on little Lugia's head. Luo Sha used his superpowers to fix the bowl, and a brand new hat was formed. What? A beautiful hat. Luo Sha, you are so kind. Little Lugia looked down at his reflection in the sea, constantly changing the angle to observe his new hat. As long as you like it, Xiao Luo, the blue color doesn't match it. Do you want to paint the hat red? Luo Sha suggested. Really? I like red the best. Little Lugia flapped its wings and said innocently. Is it really okay to be so casual? Lugia's father pulled the corner of his mouth helplessly. This is a divine tool. Finally, little Lugia bid farewell to his parents wearing a red hat. Lugia plucked the tail feathers distressedly and handed them to the little Lugia. There is no need to elaborate on the effect of Poseidon's feather. This is the second Poseidon's feather that Luo Sha has obtained, but the effects of the two Poseidon's feathers are slightly different. The feather of Poseidon worn by Metagross summons the Phantom of Lugia. The feather of Poseidon worn by Xiao Luo summons the entity of Lugia, which is the so-called if you can't beat him, just call on your father for help. Chapter 160, Land of Waves, Jet. Standing on the land of wave country, Luo Sha's eyes were attracted by a magnificent temple in the distance. This temple stands on a cliff by the sea and is particularly eye-catching. The temple is made of blue and white, brand new and magnificent, and it was obviously completed not long ago. It seems that there is no religion in the land of waves. Luo Sha flew towards the temple with a doubtful attitude, observing the surrounding environment along the way. There were many people coming and going in the temple, and Luo Sha could hear words like Poseidon and Lugia from time to time. Luo Sha didn't expect that Lugia's faith would spread so quickly. Luo Sha came to the gate of the temple and saw 3 large gold-plated characters. Temple of Poseidon. In the temple, the young man instantly attracted Luo Sha's attention because the young man exudes a familiar aura. Luo Sha had just felt it on Lugia 10 minutes ago. The young man was kneeling before the statue of Lugia and praying devoutly. Luo Sha did not disturb him, but waited quietly. It was not until an hour had passed that the young man put down his arms, stood up and walked towards the door. The young man noticed Luo Sha instantly. The young man had been working in the 8 provinces for some time. Luo Sha's iconic red hair and 2 panda eyes made him quickly recognize Luo Sha's identity. "Are you Lord Luo Sha?" the young man asked cautiously with a skeptical attitude. "Yes, nice to meet you." Luo Sha stretched out his hand and put on a serious face. "Sir, my name is Xiao Ai. I didn't expect to see you in the land of waves." Xiao Ai held Rasa's hand in surprise, as he was the most powerful figure in the ninja world. The Kingdom of Wind has been vigorously promoting Luo Sha's deeds. Xiao Ai has lived in 8 provinces, so he is well aware of Luo Sha's deeds as a trainer. Rasa has always been Xiao Ai's idol. "I didn't expect you to be recognized by Lugia. I sincerely invite you here. Are you willing to join our sand village and become one of us?" But I believe in the god of the sea, and I can't leave the kingdom of waves for a long time." Hesitated for a moment, frowned and refused. He is the leader of the people of the sea and must stay at home. "Don't worry, you can develop in the wave country. There is now an elf habitat in the wave country, and they are short of manpower. As a native resident of the land of waves, you are more familiar with this place. As for the sea god, you don't need to worry about it." Luo Sha took out a master ball and released Xiao Luo. Xiao Ai looked at Lugia in shock. "Is this the god of the sea?" Although Xiao Luo's skin color is rather peculiar, his appearance undoubtedly proves his identity. The small red one is so handsome. Xiao Ai had a 100% filter for Lugia, and he immediately knelt down and kowtowed to him in reverence. "You can regard this as a task assigned to you by the sea god. Developing the elven industry of the wave kingdom will be the next goal of the sea people." Luo Sha crossed his arms across his chest and spoke in a mysterious tone. "I will not let down the sea god's trust, Xiao." Luo was confused the whole time. He still didn't understand what was going on. He just stood there and acted as a tool. "I will send a team from the sand village to connect with you. The future development of the wave country will be left to you." Rasa easily convinced Xiao Ai, and the people of the sea became a subsidiary organization of the sand village, dedicated to developing the wave country. However, the relationship between the sea people and the sand village is only a cooperative one on the surface. For example, the river god cult and the Toriagakure village still claim to be independent on the surface. After Luo Sha established the Elf Alliance, these forces who joined could get voting rights as a responsible large ninja village. Sunagakure advocates fairness as its main principle, who said that the votes of a group of younger brothers behind Sunagakure exceeded half, and that Sunagakure is a dictator. Slander. This is blatant slander. These are all independent forces. They are only allies with Sunagakure. How can Sunagakure decide their wishes? The more Luo Sha thought about it, the more reasonable it seemed. After coming to power, Luo Sha decided to package the sand village as poor little things to keep the next generation of children in the dark and start a big drama. I believe that other ninja villages will cooperate obediently. As for some people not wanting to act, then just change the actor. Luo Sha immediately took out a small notebook and determined the future policy guideline, the Rabbit Plan. No matter how strong a sand village is, it's right to call them weak. In the next history book of Sunagakure, the history of humiliation must be written in detail without missing a word, while the history of glory will be glossed over in passing. Keeping the next generation of sand village ninjas in the dark will help them stay humble and keep their heads down. I wonder what Gara and the others' expressions will be when they discover the truth after years of hard work. So the ninja world is my home. Luo Sha. Low-key. Luo Sha put the notebook away and clapped his hands in satisfaction. I looked at Luo Sha in confusion. He didn't know why Luo Sha suddenly took out a notebook and started writing rapidly with a sly smile on his face. Luo Sha coughed awkwardly, handed Xiao Ai an elf illustration, and flew away from the Temple of Poseidon. The character almost collapsed. Be cool and aloof in front of outsiders. Be cool and aloof. Luo Sha flew high above the land of waves and looked down at the island country. Pokémon can be found throughout the jungles and mountains. The Kingdom of Waves now has a complete elf ecosystem, and the development of the elf industry is imminent. Luo Sha immediately sent a message to Shagu through the elf encyclopedia, asking Shagu to send a professional team to the Kingdom of Waves to develop the elf industry. Although the elf habitat in the Wave Kingdom is of extremely high quality, as a small country, it is not worth it for Luo Sha to waste his energy on it. He can just leave it to the people below to handle. Luo Sha's target is the Latius and Latius tribe. These are the guardians of the Water City, the Jet tribe. Latius and Latius live in the mountains and forests of Wave Country, and the entire tribe has 8 elves. Latius and Latius are very considerate. As psychic-type Pokémon, they can feel the vast mental power of Rasa and Mewtwo. As the boss, Mewtwo stood by and intimidated throughout the whole process. Groudon seemed to be even worse off, having been sleeping in the Master Ball and being of no use. Grow, thank you for finally remembering me. Luo Sha easily subdued the 2 strongest Jets. Name Latius. Gender male. Attributes Dragon. Psychic characteristic, floating level, LV 78, individual, 5 volt, HP 31, attack 21, defense 31, special attack 31, special defense 31, speed 31, skills. Briefly, name Latius. Gender, female. Attributes Dragon. Psychic characteristic, floating level, LV 78, individual, 5 volt, HP 31, attack 21, defense 31, special attack 31, special defense 31, speed 31, skills. Briefly, Luo Sha lit up 3 achievements in one fell swoop. New achievement, Conquering Latius. Congratulations to the host for obtaining 1 Latius Mega Evolution Stone. New achievement, Conquering Latius. Congratulations to the host for obtaining 1 Latius Mega Evolution Stone. New achievement, Guardian of the Water City. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the special item, Infinity Ring. Infinite Ring contains infinite authority 2, limited to use by Super Shadow level Latius. Latius note, when Latius and Latius work together, their unlimited authority can reach the level of a first level god. Chapter 161. Handsome Frog and Beautiful Frog. All 8 Jets can learn Sage Mode, so Rasa carries them all on him. Luo Sha plans to take them to the Dragon Vein of Laulan to activate the Immortal Mode, and take the opportunity to see if there will be another Inlushan traveling through this world. After Rasa subdued Latius and Latius, he stayed in the Land of Waves for 2 more days, living with the Jet clan and teaching them the basic knowledge of the ninja world. Latius and Latius have special abilities. They can use their superpowers to transform into human form. They live in the Land of Waves and will inevitably gradually integrate into the society of the Land of Waves. Luo Sha gave them the mission of Guardian, and the Land of Waves is their base camp. 2 days later, after the Sunagakure team arrived at the Land of Waves, Rasa submitted a visiting card to the daimyo of the Land of Waves. When the daimyo found out, he immediately went out of the palace to welcome Luo Sha in person. In fact, the emergence of Pokémon has brought troubles to the Land of Waves. Most of the people in the Land of Waves have always lived on islands and have never seen Pokémon with their own eyes. Now, the Pokémon that keep emerging from the mountains and jungles of the Land of Waves have left them at a loss. Although Pokémon will not actively hurt people and have not caused any damage to the Land of Waves, it still inevitably caused trouble to the people of the Land of Waves. The Wave Country has no ability to deal with Pokémon. The daimyo has been worried for 2 days and even a few hairs have turned gray. The Land of Waves has always had close ties with the Land of Fire, which has led to the daimyo's reluctance to ask the Sands village for help. The arrival of Luo Sha and others made the daimyo feel relieved. The diplomatic corps of Sunagakure was responsible for the negotiations, and the daimyo of Wave Country did not dare to reject any conditions of Sunagakure or make any demands. Luo Sha sat aside, eating snacks by himself. Do nothing, just serve as a deterrent. As one decree after another was issued, the business, law, people's livelihood and other aspects of the Wave Kingdom began to be linked with Pokémon. The people of the sea became the official force of the Kingdom of Waves. The Sand Ninja changed his clothes and became a member of the Sea People. The people of the sea are essentially a sect, and the Sand Village are experts in this area. In the westernmost part of the Land of Waves, a water city will be built as the base camp of the people of the sea. The geographical location of Water City is extremely advantageous, and sea trade can go directly to the Kingdom of Fire, the Kingdom of Wind, the Kingdom of Water, the Kingdom of Soup, and the Kingdom of Whirlpools. If nothing unexpected happens, Water City, as a port city, will become a trade hub connecting various countries in the future. and even become the economic center of the wave country after arranging matters in the land of waves. Luo Sha and Mutuo came to the new island habitat. Luo Sha is going to take Greninja home. Greninja has been training in the new island habitat for 3 years and its strength has improved by leaps and bounds. Rasa and Greninja haven't been together for a while. The last time we met was last time. Greninja will never return until it reaches the cage level. Last time, Greninja had already reached the threshold of cage level, and Luo Sha thought that he should have broken through now. Handsome frog, are you there? Luo Sha thought that he should have broken through now. Sha came to the sea where the ninja frogs lived and roared with his mental power. 5 minutes later, a small whirlpool appeared on the sea surface. 2 Greninja frogs suddenly jumped out of the sea. Their figures were like a flash of lightning, instantly breaking the tranquility of the sea. The Greninja were agile and nimble, flipping twice in the air before landing lightly on a nearby reef. After standing on the reef, they did not forget to strike a handsome pose, while Luo Sha clapped and exclaimed in amazement. Greninja has become the leader of the Greninja clan and has found a wife despite Greninja's strong opposition. Luo Sha named them Handsome Frog and Beautiful Frog Xia Shui and Xia Omai, a traditional match, frog. Seeing that Luo Sha was so supportive, Greninja generously forgave Luo Sha for not visiting it for 3 months. Name, Greninja. Gender, male. Attribute, water. Features, changeable. Level, LV71. Individual, 6 volt. Skills, Sage Mode, Flying Water Shuriken, multiple Shadow Clones, multiple Flying Water Shuriken, multiple Rasen Shuriken, Sage Technique, Rasen Shuriken. Luo Sha rubbed his eyes to make sure he was not dazzled after not seeing each other for 3 months. What has Handsome Frog experienced? What's going on with you? Have you learned ninjutsu, frog? The ninjutsu learned using multiple shadow clones is very simple. Is it really that difficult? Seeing that Luo Sha looked like he had never seen the world, Handsome Frog shook his red scarf proudly. You are the first elf to learn ninjutsu, frog, frog, frog. In fact, I only learned the Rasen Shuriken, because the operation method is very similar to the Flying Water Shuriken. As for the water style, I found that it is not as effective as the skills. Then can you learn water escape, frog? Handsome Frog formed a seal and a bubble gradually formed. The bubbles quickly condensed into the shape of a water dragon, and Luo Sha recognized it as water style, water dragon bullet. The condensation is very slow. Is it because of the seal? The biggest difficulty for elves to learn ninjutsu is to make hand seals. Even Greninja's hands have a structure that is very different from that of humans. Letting the elves learn hand seal ninjutsu is extremely cost-effective and far less practical than their own skills. Rasengan and Rasen Shuriken are the unmatched ninjutsu. Luo Sha suddenly realized that the reason why a Handsome Frog could learn so quickly was because this type of ninjutsu did not require hand seals. Frog, Handsome Frog said in agreement. Okay, let's not dwell on this. Senjutsu is much more powerful than ninjutsu. Handsome Frog, come home with me. Frog. The Handsome Frog nodded. After breaking through the shadow level, it had reached the top of the new island habitat without Mutuo. Those shadow level Pokemon are no match for it. With one shot of the Senjutsu, multiple Rasen Shuriken, they were all destroyed. Luo Sha put away the Handsome Frog and the Beautiful Frog and turned towards the area of 8 provinces. The location where the Bell Tower appeared was just on the outskirts of Yuanzhou City. The Bell Tower appeared out of nowhere, and this incredible scene caused panic in Yuanzhou City. The Sands Village immediately stepped in to guide public opinion, calling it a miracle, and the panic was quickly quelled by the Sands Village. When the sun sets, the Bell Tower begins to emit a gorgeous rainbow, like the brightest star in the night sky, lighting up the entire city. The gorgeous rainbow seemed to extend from the top of the tower and connect to the horizon. Its presence makes the night no longer dark, but full of dreamy colors and atmosphere. People came out of their homes and gathered in front of the tower, gazing at the wonder with awe in their hearts. The rainbow in the night sky is so beautiful that it seems like a dream. This counterintuitive phenomenon convinces everyone that the Bell Tower is a gift from God. This is a miracle. The headline of the Tomato Daily the next day, Vermilion City, the city favored by God, was like a huge rock thrown into a lake, instantly causing an uproar and sparking heated discussions and attention from the entire ninja world. The existence of Ho-Oh is confirmed when the residents of Vermilion City witnessed a rainbow-colored figure streaking across the sky. Some witnesses claim to have encountered the 3 sacred beasts under the throne of the Phoenix, Sukyun, Entei, and Reikao. The popularity of Vermilion City skyrocketed, and countless trainers rushed to Vermilion City from all directions like cats that smelled blood. They harbored unrealistic fantasies, hoping to tame one of the three sacred beasts and soar into the sky. Chapter 162 Gout of Withering and Flourishing, Xiao Hong. When Luo Sha arrived at Yuanzhou City, he saw a sea of people. The garrison of Yuanzhou City surrounded the bell tower to prevent anyone from rushing up the bell tower and disturbing the Phoenix King's habitat. In fact, Ho had already left the Ring Tower and flew to the mountain range where the three sacred beasts were. Luo Sha and Mutuo teleported again and came to the three sacred beasts mountain range. According to the instructions on the map, the three sacred beasts mountains are shrouded in mist and towering into the clouds. The mountains are steep and there is no path for pedestrians to walk on. It is harder for ordinary people to climb the mountains than to climb to the sky in the Pokémon world. There are 100 groups of the three sacred beasts, 3 sacred birds, and 3 sacred pillars. Although the number seems large, it is extremely rare in the vast world. Most people will only hear of the existence of mythical beasts and legends and stories throughout their lives, but will never have the chance to see them in person. The ninja world now has more than 80 sets of 3 sacred birds, 3 sacred beasts, and 3 sacred pillars. However, the 3 sacred birds live on a hidden island in the ocean, the 3 sacred beasts live on unclimbable mountains, and the 3 sacred pillars are nestled in the world tree. How many people can encounter them? The 3 holy beasts mountain range is also the habitat of the Eevee tribe. The 3 cage-level Jolteons, Flareon, and Vaporeon are equivalent to the mountain guards, enough to scare away climbers. Of course, Luo Sha is not among them. Luo Sha's arrival soon alarmed the Ho-Oh, and a colorful turkey flew out of the valley. The big golden comb on the Phoenix King's head is very eye-catching. Name, Ho-Oh. Gender, none. Attribute, fire. Flying. Features, pressure. Level, LV95. Clergy, life. Individual, 6 vote. Skills, holy fire, divine bird strike, big word flame blast, overheat, sunny day, predict the future, self-regeneration, meditation, divine power, life authority 1. Ho-Oh can revive life that has died within 3 days, and there is a chance that the life will undergo transformation and sublimation too on sunny days. All attributes of Ho-Oh are increased by 200%. 3. The Phoenix King emits colorful divine light, which can bring good fortune to an area. Choose one. I have been waiting for you for a long time. A gentle female voice sounded, which was indeed extremely inconsistent with the image of the Phoenix King. Hey, Ho-Oh, welcome to the ninja world. I'm Rasa. Luo Sha brought his thoughts back to their original state and bowed to the King of Phoenix. I know what you're here for. Just conquer me. But I won't follow you. I want to see this new world with my own eyes. Of course, you can call me if you need anything, the Phoenix King said calmly. It accepted well the spirit that became Rosa as a first-level god. The Master Ball cannot restrain it even after being subdued by Luo Sha. If it does not recognize Luo Sha, it can easily break free from the restraints of the Master Ball. Luo Sha was approved by the God of Creation, so it no longer needed to be tested. Ho-Oh glanced at Mutuo and the Master Ball on Luo Sha's waist. Let me reiterate, it is not cowardice, it is rational, from the heart. My pleasure. Luo Sha took out a Master Ball and put Ho-Oh into the ball. The Master Ball shook a few times, and after 3 dings and 1 ring, it returned to calm. New achievement, God of Life. Congratulations to the host for conquering the Phoenix King and obtaining the special item, Spark of Life. Life Spark contains the authority of life, the authority of withering and flourishing. A special creation, only usable by life-related creatures. Note, products produced by Xiao Ai are definitely of the highest quality. Luo Sha took out the Spark of Life and looked at it carefully. A small red and golden seed. You can feel the warmth from the seed when you hold it in your hands. Xiao Hong, who had been wearing a bracelet on Luo Sha's wrist, suddenly woke up, crawled onto Luo Sha's palm and sniffed the seeds. Xiao Hong, it's finally my turn. If you don't write about my role, readers will almost forget about me. Then, Xiao Hong looked up at Luo Sha expectantly and said shyly, Luo Sha, this seed is so attractive to me. A tender female voice sounded, and the little red tail curled up into a ball, obviously asking for something for the first time. Xiao Hong, what kind of snake are you? Luo Sha looked at the little red snake on his palm in surprise. He was just wondering where to find life-type creatures. Xiao Hong thought for a moment and said, what attributes? Snakes are good at yin escape, but I seem to be special. I am good at yang escape, and I like to use fire magic the most. Ho ran out of the Master Ball and glanced at Red in surprise. It's a life type. You are a natural life type creature. I didn't expect to meet a Pokemon with the same talent in the new world, life system. Xiao Ai was stunned for a moment. With its limited knowledge, it could not understand what was going on. Try eating this seed, Luo Sha thought of the white snake immortal and searched for him in the 6 paths for 1,000 years, but to no avail. By chance, Xiao Ai got the opportunity to break through the 6 realms while she was still a child. All I can say is that it's fate. Xiao Ai swallowed the seeds obediently, and in just a moment, a golden red flame ignited on her body. Upon seeing this, Phoenix King's body lit up with colorful auspicious light, and he spat out more breath of golden red flame which merged into Xiao Ai's body. It's so warm. But it's a little itchy, Xiao Ai exclaimed and kept twisting her snake body. Xiao Ai suddenly let out a scream of pain. The sound was sharp and piercing. Its originally smooth body began to shake violently, and the outermost layer of snake skin seemed to be ignited by flames, burning rapidly and turning into pieces of ashes that floated in the air. As time goes by, new snakeskin gradually emerges, showing a stunning golden red color that shines brightly. Each scale is as dazzling as a precious gem, exuding a noble aura, and seems to contain endless power and vitality. Strange black and white patterns slowly emerged on the scales, extending and spreading as if they had life. These patterns gradually outline the contours of a flower, with petals layered on top of each other, delicate and exquisite, each exuding a unique luster. The whole pattern is lifelike, as if it is a real exotic flower in the world. The energy flowed. Xiao Ai stopped shaking, and slowly opened her eyes. Those were a pair of peculiar eyes, with one black and one white vertical pupils, echoing each other like the 2 poles of yin and yang. In the pupils, mysterious and unpredictable forces of law kept flowing, which was extremely strange. Such a powerful energy, I feel it can kill the white snake immortal, Xiao Ai said in surprise, and its voice was still that of a lolly. Although it has become stronger, it has not grown up. Xiao Ai is now a young divine beast. Luo Sha looked at Xiao Ai carefully. The new bracelet was really cool. Luo Sha tried to open the system and scan Xiao Ai's message, but he didn't expect the system to actually respond. Name to be named, Xiao Ai. Gender, none. Female, variable. Attribute fire. Features, pressure level, LV 71. Clergy, withering and flourishing, 52.0%. Individual, 6 vote. Skills, holy fire, withering fire, big word fire blast, overheat, sunny day, self-regeneration, meditation, jet flame, withering power 1. It can accelerate the aging of life, and it can also give life new life, but after using it, one needs to fall into deep sleep, and the sleeping time depends on the ability of use. 2. On sunny days, all attributes are increased by 50%. 3. Fire attacks gain an additional 50% increase. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelist. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 163, Priestly Items, 3 Sacred Beasts. Luo Sha didn't expect that summoning beasts could actually transform into Pokemon. Although the cost is high, Xiao Ai became a fantasy beast, equivalent to a fantasy beast at the 2nd level god level. Luo Sha entered Kurong Fire Spirit Snake in Xiao Ai's name, column, and then immediately called it Xiao Ai. Xiao Ai, can priesthood items only be obtained through achievements? Ding. The host can also get it through the lottery. Why didn't you tell me before? Damn, host, you didn't ask. Luo Sha spoke sweetly, and Xiao Ai responded in a frozen voice. It took him 15 years to find out that he could win priesthood items by drawing lots. Why have I never pulled out a priesthood item before? Luo Sha waited for a minute but got no response from Xiao Ai. Xiao Ai, I'm not going to scold you and make your computer freeze, am I? No way? Do you need to have it repaired? Thump. Thump thump thump. The sound of Windows starting up rang out, and Xiao Ai came online again. Beep. The system is disconnecting from the internet. The system is connecting. Hello, host. Please ask again. Luo Sha was shocked. Is this system playing tricks on you? Luo Sha opened the email address that he had not used for a long time and wrote a letter to the complaints department. Is the development department being lazy? Why hasn't Xiao Ai 3.0 been launched yet? There are more than 100 chapters. By the way, I complained about this weird system configuration. How can Xiaomi use the Windows startup sound? Luo Sha wrote another greeting letter to the time travel god, although there was a 99% chance that he would not get a reply. Luo Sha suspected that the time travel god might have been brought down because of corruption. After Luo Sha finished writing the letter, he turned around and asked again, "Why have I never pulled out a priesthood item before?" Ding. Priesthood items are of red quality, and the drop rate is extremely low. You have drawn red items 4 times before. According to probability theory, the probability of getting a priesthood item is 16%, 25. Red draws will give me a priesthood item, equivalent to 250 billion taels. If you draw 10 times in a row, you can get a 225% discount, which is billion taels, 100 billion taels to buy a red habitat, 225 billion taels to draw a priesthood item. Luo Sha decided to use all of his elf coins for lottery draws. You might even get a red habitat in the lucky draw. Although he has always been a loser, there must be a bottom line, right? Yali Mountain is big. Luo Sha exited the system space and focused his eyes back on reality. Xiao Ai was very confused. Luo Sha stared at it for 2 minutes, making it shy. It is still an underage snake waiting to be married. Xiao Ai's whole snake lay stiff in Luo Sha's palm. Fearing that Luo Sha would have any strange thoughts, "Xiao Ai, why are you still so small? Even though you are small and cute, you are not worthy of being a mythical beast." Luo Sha picked up Xiao Ai and looked at the tattoo on her back. "I'm not an adult yet. I will definitely be an adult when your child is born." Xiao Ai shyly twisted her body, and the whole snake turned red and warm. "Is that so? Then you will be my child's summoning beast from now on. It's just right for him to be sent to the Raichi cave to learn fairy arts." Luo Sha nodded to show his understanding. "I'm sure I'll be fine. That's a happy decision." The Phoenix King, who had been left out for a long time, flapped his wings to show his presence. "Mad. There is such a big phoenix next to it, but it is not as attractive as a small snake. It just so happens that I need your help with something else. Ho-oh. I still need to subdue 3 of the 3 holy beasts. I will not take them away. I will only subdue them symbolically." Luo Sha showed a harmless and innocent smile. Tool Bird, Ho-oh called his 3 little brothers and packed them up and gave them to Luo Sha. New achievement, conquering Entei. Congratulations to the host for obtaining Entei Mega Evolution Stone 1. New achievement, conquering Thunder God. Congratulations to the host for obtaining 1 Thunder God Mega Evolution Stone. Official Mega Evolutions of the 3 Sacred Beasts are not available. This book has a private setting. New achievement, 3 Sacred Beasts. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the special item, Feathers of the 3 Sacred Beasts. Feathers of the 3 Saints, contains the power of Aurora, Volcano, and Heavenly Thunder, and can only be used by the 3 Super Shadow level Sacred Beasts. Note: products produced by Xiao Ai are definitely of the highest quality. Luo Sha is in a good mood after collecting a set of achievements. Again, Luo Sha took out the 3 holy feathers. And the 3 holy beasts stared at the feathers. Yan Emperor's drool was all over the floor, just like Erhu Sukyun and Reigong noticed something wet at their feet. They looked down and found that it was Entei's saliva. Leigong immediately became angry and struck Yan Emperor with a thunderbolt. The Yan Emperor was charred by the electric shock and spewed out black smoke from his mouth. The lightning flowed along the saliva and numbed Sukyun, who was watching the show on the side. The 3 beasts immediately fought each other. They have no skills, it's purely a physical battle. Ho-oh, the Phoenix King covered his face with his wings. He might have lost more face in his entire life than he did today. Luo Sha watched the fight between the 3 sacred beasts and found the scene was exactly the same as a fight between big dogs. He finally understood why Xiao Ai could conquer Sukyun with 1 ball. It's really embarrassing for a divine beast. Phoenix King, I'll give you this feather for safekeeping. Give it to them when they break through to the super shadow level. Luo Sha ignored the 3 huskies who were fighting happily on the side and gave the 3 sacred feathers to the King of Phoenix. No problem, Phoenix King took the feather and hesitated whether to train 3 messengers again. These 3 are too stupid. If they are released, it would be a disgrace to the bird. Luo Sha, now that the bell tower habitat is my territory, can you set aside an area for me to protect? In the Pokemon world, every first level god has a territory. The one in Kanto is Lugia, and the one in Chengdu is Ho. The Hon region has the 3 gods of land, sea and air. The Sinnoh region has the 3 dragons of space and time, and the Unova region has the 3 dragons of Tao. Pokemon have a sense of territory. And so do legendary beasts unless there are special circumstances. The gods do not invade each other. How about I give the 8 provinces to you and let you guard them? Luo Sha took out a map and marked the 8 provinces. Many thanks. The voice of the King of Phoenix was filled with joy. The land of the 8 provinces was originally half of the territory of the Land of Fire and was the richest region in the ninja world. Luo Sha drew a circle on the map again to define the territory for the divine beast that had appeared. The 3 sacred beasts are the messengers of the Phoenix King, and they must be in the 8 provinces. The area of the Land of Fire happens to belong to Lugia. The area of the Kingdom of Wind is divided among the 3 gods of land, sea and air. Rayquaza's core territory is Laolin, and Groudon's core territory is the land of the Enkiger has not yet appeared, and the location is tentatively set to be the coastal area of the Wind Country, of course, as the base camp of the Sands Village. The Land of Wind must have more than just these 3 legendary beasts: Kuro Fire Snake, Xiao Kita Duck, Sanayan God. These 2nd level and 3rd level gods are also in the Kingdom of Wind. The Kingdom of Wind will definitely add new gods in the future. The Bird Country has Aptus. The Snow Country has Articuno, and the outcome is yet to be determined for Moltres. As for Mutuo, it's enough for it to have a new island. Mutuo doesn't like any constraints. After Luo Sha divided all the mythical beasts that had appeared, he put away the map. Doing so can prevent the mythical beasts from fighting over territorial issues in the future. Chapter 164 Laolin, the Infinite God. After Luo Sha left the Lingling Tower habitat, he came to Laolin. Queen Anna personally received Luo Sha and gave him a detailed introduction to the development of Laolin. There are 2 Pokemon habitats next to Laolin, and more than 90% of Laolin's people have become Pokemon trainers. The most commonly used Pokemon by Laolin's trainers are Tyrannosaurus, Rakuten Kappa, and Charmeleon. Laolin has a superior geographical location, located in the center of the oasis, and has the conditions for the growth of grass-type Pokemon. Therefore, Amazona and Rakuten Kappa have become the standard equipment for Laolin trainers. However, Laolin's top elf is the fire-breathing camel. The railway in Sunagakure was not open to Laolin, because the population of Laolin was too small, and opening a railway would be a sheer waste of resources. Laolin now relies entirely on the fire-breathing camel to communicate with the outside world. In the past, Laolin was a closed country, completely isolated from the outside world. With the fire-breathing camel, Laolin finally made a name for itself. In addition to producing wheat, the Laolin Oasis also has its own unique date palm trees. The fire-breathing camels transporting dates created enough wealth for Laolin, and the living standards of thousands of citizens rose sharply. Today's Laolin would definitely be considered a developed country in the ninja world. Because of the Dragon Vein, Sand Village provided Laolin with very good conditions. In Laolin, there is no so-called insect catcher. Queen Anna led Luo Sha to the most prosperous street in Laolin. The elf shop, covering an area of 200 square meters, was extremely conspicuous on the street. Queen Anna looked at the brand new streets and said with regret, "Unfortunately, although 90% of Laolin's people have become trainers, there are no geniuses like Honglian Xiaobei and Hei Mikri." Laolin's inability to open a gym is Queen Anna's biggest concern so far. The only genius in Laolin is Sarah, but Sarah's development in Sunagakure is far more promising than in Laolin. Queen Anna was a smart woman, and she would not ruin her daughter's future. Queen Anna led Luo Sha to the entrance of the Dragon Vein, and a team of puppeteers were guarding the entrance diligently. Queen Anna said gratefully, "The Sand Village has sent 100 puppeteers to garrison Laolin. Puppetry has also brought a lot of convenience to the lives of the people of Laolin. On behalf of the people of Laolin, I would like to express my deepest gratitude to the Sands Village for its help to Laolin." Queen Anna, there is no need to do this. Sunagakure and Laolin have a mutually beneficial and win-win relationship. Luo Sha said modestly. Laolin was just a remote little country. Since it kept its dragon veins well covered, no one would pay attention to Laolin. This team of puppeteers is led by the elite John and Minglian, and their mission is to protect the dragon veins. Even if he couldn't protect her, Luo Sha wouldn't panic. After all, no one can move the dragon vein. The 2 of them came all the way to the underground secret room. Queen Anna was very responsible. She drew the power of the dragon vein and activated the sage mode for the 8 jets one after another. Latius and Latius belong to the group of 2nd level gods, and they have an individual value of 2 vote at the very least, except in very rare cases. Individual values of 1 vote may appear. There were no special circumstances regarding these 8 jets. Under the dual effects of the Dragon Vein Chakra and the power of Changpan, they all completed the Sage Mode. It took 2 days, but Queen Anna managed to hold on 6 Shadow-level Pokemon, 3 Latius and 3 Latius. The strongest Latius and Latius successfully reached LV81. Luo Sha took out the infinite rings and bestowed the priesthood on them. Unlimited authority. 1. Latius's flight does not consume physical strength, and can fly infinitely at the highest speed. 2. While in the air, all attributes are increased by 100%. 3 Latius and Latius fight together, enter the state, and the energy recovery speed plus 1000%. 2 huge pressures emanated at the same time, a transparent blue ring flashed behind Latius, and a red ring flashed behind Latius. 2 halos can be combined into the shape of, which means infinity. Their powers combine perfectly to form an endless cycle of energy that seems to be able to create all possibilities. The most powerful attribute of infinite authority is the third one, which increases the energy recovery speed by 10 times, and its combat endurance is the best among Pokémon. Luo Sha took out a blank psychic scroll and made a psychic contract with the Jets. Luo Sha wrote Jet Clan on the cover, and a new clan of psychic beasts was born. Latius and Latius can transform into human form, an ability that is exactly the same as that of the immortal in Raichi Cave. Jets form the high-rise structure of the Holy Land. 2 great immortals, 6 immortals. However, although we have immortals in the Holy Land, we still lack ordinary creatures in the Holy Land. As a group of mythical beasts, the number of jet fighters is bound to be small, no more than 2 hands can count. Luo Sha searched among various Pokémon for a long time and found that Pacus was the most suitable. As a purple quality Pokémon, Tajukus has a race value of 545, far exceeding the 3 previous Pokémon. The special attack reaches 120 points, and the distribution of racial values is extremely good, which is also the top level among purple quality. Pacus is known as the Little Plane. If he possesses the characteristics of God's grace and the attributes of a European emperor, he may have the potential to kill gods as a poor man. Luo Sha is not attracted to Pacus at all, but I can't resist its fragrance. Pacus is the Pokémon of choice in the new Holy Land. Infinite Holy Land. It seems to be very promising. Luo Sha sent a message to Xiao Ai through the Pokémon Encyclopedia, conquering the Pacus clan and sending them to the Land of Waves. There are traces of Pacusy and Finks in Habitat and Lingling to Habitat, but the number is not large, probably reaching 100. Latius and Latius returned to the Kingdom of Waves, and they needed to choose a hidden mountain range as a holy place. Before the technology of the space bead was cracked, Luo Sha had no ability to create a new holy space. Luo Sha thought about robbing Mount Myaboku, but the environment of Mount Myaboku was not compatible with the infinite Holy Land. Myaboku Mountain is more suitable to be a holy place for grass-type beasts such as Celebi, Zalude, and Shemi. Luo Sha handed over the follow-up work of the infinite Holy Land to Zhongmi, and became a hands-off boss. The next day, after Queen Anna had recovered her strength, Rosa came to the palace. Queen Anna, have you spotted any suspicious individuals recently? Is their name Bezu or Lushan? I have never heard of these 2 names, and no suspicious people have appeared in Laolan. If a stranger appeared in Laolan, we would definitely find him. Queen Anna recalled that there were only a few thousand people in Laolan, and a stranger suddenly appeared and could not hide his identity at all. So, the centipede didn't travel through time. The future has been changed, and there is no so-called parallel universe to travel to this world. Luo Sha still remembered that when he first came to the Dragon Vein, he was worried that he would be corrected by the 6th Path Sage in the future. Now, if the 6th Path Sage dared to show up, Luo Sha would beat him to death immediately. When Giratina comes out, the Sage of 6 Paths will have no choice but to work for him. Chapter 165 4 Holy Swords, Yellow Earth Visits. Since Laolan was peaceful, Luo Sha did not stay long and went straight back to the Sand Village. This trip took no more than a week. It all depends on teleportation, and the efficiency is amazing. Luo Sha always felt like he had forgotten something, but since he couldn't remember it, it meant that it wasn't important. It wasn't until he returned home and took a bath and Luo Sha took out the Pokeball that he reacted. Groudon. How could he forget about this big guy? Luo Sha awkwardly took the Master Ball, teleported to the ending place, and released Groudon. Silent stare. Luo Sha strangely saw a sense of grievance in Groudon's eyes. Hey, Groudon, do you want to eat? Luo Sha took out the ground-type Pokemon Cube and handed it to Groudon. Groudon took it in with a crunch. The bag of Pokemon Cubes was gone. The packaging bag was also eaten. Groudon's eyes widened, and a look of shock flashed in his pupils. Seeing this, Luo Sha poured out cartloads of elf cubes from the system space. Groudon didn't show any courtesy at all and started showing off as he sat on the ground. Hiccup. The sun was setting and Groudon, who had been eating for the whole afternoon, burped. Patting his belly with satisfaction, Groudon stood up with his hands on the ground. Roar. Remember to come to me more often, I'll give you food. Groudon had no idea how low his asking price was in human society, but one meal of it is worth several years' salary for a worker. Luo Sha watched Groudon disappear into the ground, then instantly returned home, picked up Psyduck, and took a comfortable bath. Qua. Psyduck is holding a swimming ring and paddling in place in the swimming pool. Seeing this, Handsome Frog used his small water gun to spray Psyduck and swim forward. My former friends, one is now an adult frog, and the other is still a 3-year-old duck. Quack. Quack quack. When Psyduck saw the handsome frog whom he hadn't seen for a long time, he flapped his little wings excitedly and hugged the handsome frog tightly. Frog, handsome Frog introduced beautiful frog to Psyduck. Even though Psyduck couldn't understand, Gardevoir walked gracefully to the edge of the swimming pool with juice and handed it to Luo Sha. Luo Sha sipped the juice and watched the 3 elves playing in the swimming pool. Bangla, Metagross and the others were all hiding in the garden. Only Luck and Roku ran off to find Gerudo. Rayquaza is patrolling the skies of the ninja world. Perhaps this is a gene engraved in Rayquaza's bones. Ever since Rayquaza became an adult, it has become more and more fond of flying into the atmosphere. Rayquaza's level has reached LV 76. In 4 years at most, he will be able to break through to the Super Shadow level. Luo Sha needs to materialize Kyogre within 4 years and collect the achievements of the 3 gods of land, sea and air, and perhaps he can obtain the priesthood item of Rayquaza. Among the legendary beasts that have appeared so far, only Rayquaza was raised by Rasa since childhood, and the relationship between them is extraordinary. Naturally, Luo Sha would give priority to Rayquaza and train him into the strongest first-level god. March 35th, the 2nd year of Tsunagakure. Master, we received a letter from Iwagakure. Their 4-tails Jinchuriki is about to die, and they want to give the 4 tails to us. However, they hope that we can send a sacred beast to the land of Earth. Luo Sha looked at the contents of the letter with some surprise. As expected of Unoki, he was really courageous. The act of selling tailed beasts would be strongly opposed in any ninja village. The Sand Village had negotiated with the Iwagakure before, hoping to capture the tailed beasts, but the Iwagakure refused at the time on the grounds that the Jinchuriki was safe. Rosa planned to wait until the Spirit League was established and then use tough measures to confiscate the tailed beasts. Unoki obviously guessed Rosa's plan. The Sand Village will have to retrieve the tailed beasts sooner or later, so he might as well give them to the Sand Village in advance and get some benefits in return. Now, Unoki's move is both a submission to Tsunagakure and a way to gain benefits for the land of Earth. You decide. I don't understand divine beasts. Shagu calmly drank a sip of Longjing tea, leaning back in the recliner and leisurely correcting documents. After Luo Sha's shadow clone took over the government affairs, Shagu lay down and started to enjoy his retirement life early, then agreed to their request. The land of Earth was going to have a sacred beast stationed there anyway. Rasa wrote back to Unoki and agreed to Unoki's request. With Luo Sha's current balance of elf coins, he can only materialize 2nd level and 3rd level gods to guard the kingdom of Earth. Considering the characteristics of the Iwagakure village and the environment of the land of Earth, Luo Sha opened the Pokemon shop and spent 1 million Pokemon coins to purchase Ediakian Habitat. Diakian is a rock and fighting Pokemon and one of the 4 holy swords. The 4 holy swords are a group of mythical beasts consisting of Capellian, Billigen, Daraki, and Keldea. They have a common skill: Holy Sword. Holy Sword can ignore ability changes and directly cause damage. It doesn't seem like anything special, but the 4 words ability change refer to a very wide range. It can break all illusions and space-time ninjutsu. The 4 holy swords are the nemesis of all illusion ninjas, and even more so the nemesis of the Uchiha clan. 3 days later, the Iwagakure delegation led by Wang Tu visited the Sand Village. Zhuang Yu, as the Minister of Foreign Affairs, came out to greet Wang Tu and brought him to the Fengying building. Wang Tu is a simple and honest man, 217 centimeters tall, with a strong build, wearing a red ninja hat on his head and a beard on his chin. Wang Tu's talent is not bad. Although he did not inherit the bloody elimination, dust escape, he will be able to reach the shadow level in the future with the help of earth escape in the early stage of cage level. This is the peak that a ninja can reach without special abilities such as bloodline limits and secret techniques. Even Hanzo of the Salamander became a top-level cage-level warrior by relying on the poison of the salamander. The Iwagakure village is in a period of transition, and Wang Tu's strength has reached the early stage of cage level, making him qualified to take over the position of the fourth Kazekage. However, Wang Tu is a simple and honest man, and his personality is not suitable for being the shadow of a village. Luo Sha is very interested in Wang Tu. His daughter is the future fourth Kazekage and she is pretty, especially her long legs. This is a good candidate for daughter-in-law. If the fourth Kazekage is kidnapped, it would be reasonable to give the entire Iwagakure village as a dowry. Right, very rivery, Yondame. This is the Four Tails Son Goku. Wang Tu went straight to the point without any politeness. He took out a clay box and handed it to Luo Sha. This is just an ordinary box with many sealing techniques engraved on it, which can seal the tailed beasts for a period of time. Brother Wang Tu, you are too polite. Why don't you stay in my sand village for a while so that I can show my hospitality? Luo Sha took the clay box and began to retain the Lois. This matter of the sacred beast is of great importance. My father asked me to return to the Hidden Rock village as soon as possible. Wang Tu said hesitantly. It's easy to resolve the matter, Lord Kazekage. I will write a letter in person and explain the cause of the matter in detail. The two villages of Sand and Rock have maintained friendly exchanges since ancient times, and now they have become allies. It's a rare opportunity for you to come to Sand Village, so let me entertain you well. This will strengthen the exchanges between the two villages, further promote the peaceful and stable development of the two villages, and move towards prosperity together. Luo Sha began to talk eloquently, making Wang Tu dizzy. Oh, alright. Wang Tu shook his head and became a little more sober. Wang Tu's heart was filled with tears. He really couldn't handle this kind of diplomacy. Why did his father insist on him coming? Chapter 166 Luo Sha's arranged marriage, Yukang vs Sun Wukong. After receiving the letter from Sunagakure, Anoki of Iwagakure village stood up from his chair with a bang. Click. Ouch. My old waist. Anoki held his waist and sat back, complaining. I clearly told Wang Tu that I would return to the village as soon as I was done, so how could I still be deceived by that brat? Luo Sha. Anoki looked at the new generation of ninjas in Iwagakure and felt more and more sad given Iwagakure's current situation. As soon as he leaves, Iwagakure will either be destroyed or swallowed up. The Four Tails Jinchuriki died, and now there is only one Five Tails Jinchuriki left in Iwagakure, and the Five Tails Jinchuriki is about to die of old age. Lao Zi and Han were originally designated as the second generation of tailed beast Jinchuriki by Iwagakure. Lao Zi has the lava release Kakai limit, and is highly compatible with the Four Tails. Han has not awakened the bloodline limit of boiling release, but his grandfather is the current Five Tails Jinchuriki, and he possesses the talent of boiling release. Lao Zi and Han are both teenagers who have been trained to be the next Jinchuriki since childhood. After the two of them become the Jinchuriki of the tailed beasts, they will definitely be able to reach the level of cage-level combat power very quickly. However, Iwagakure has decided to sell the tailed beasts to the Sand Village. The two of them need to slowly accumulate strength and rely on themselves to break through the cage-level threshold. I just hope that the two of them won't be like Sho, who has been stuck in the bottleneck for more than 20 years and has not been able to break through. In fact, there are still some geniuses among the new generation of Iwagakure. In addition to Lao Zi and Han, Wang Tu has the potential to reach the shadow level, and the upper water flow, and one have super trainer talent. What Anoki was worried about was that none of the four were capable of taking over the position of Kazekage. One is honest and simple, one is obsessed with scientific research, one has a bad temper, and one is self-willed. He can be a general, but not a marshal. If it really doesn't work, why not train a few talents for internal affairs? Anoki touched his bald head and sighed helplessly. Anoki is only at the age of 50 now, and can hold on for at least another 20 years until the four of them grow up. Anoki didn't know that he was an extremely long-lived old man and could still stay in the position of Kazekage for more than 40 years, but even if the four of them grow up, they are still no match for Sunagakure. We still have to cling to Sunagakure. Anoki rubbed his waist and murmured, the Sand Village has combat power above the cage level, and the Iwagakure can only be its younger brothers. He just hoped that Wang Tu would not be deceived by Luo Sha and sign some agreement that would bring shame to the village. Sand Village, Training Ground Number 1. Luo Sha, Karula, Yukang and Wang Tu gathered together. Xiao Ai is currently constructing the Infinite Holy Land and Wave Country, So he is not in the village. Everyone, let's meet each other. This is our new friend, Wang Tu, Yellow Earth. They are Karula and Yikang. Luo Sha introduced Wang Tu to Jiaoluo and Yikang. After all, they are future in-laws, so it would not be a bad idea to get to know them earlier. Luo Sha didn't feel any guilt about the arranged marriage. Kuratsuchi's dowry was the entire Iwagakure village. Who could refuse it? It is equivalent to the only legitimate daughter of a top 5 family in the world, marrying in with $1 trillion fortune. $8 trillion fortune might sound a bit exaggerated, so it would be more realistic to just say that she is marrying with the Kingdom of Earth. The eldest lady herself is beautiful, powerful, and possesses the bloodline limit of lava release. She will be able to grow into a cage-level powerhouse in the future. The more Luo Sha thought about it, the more excited he became, and his attitude towards Wang Tu became even friendlier. Wang Tu didn't realize he had been sold and thought the people of Luo Sha were easy to get along with. Inoki is such a shrewd old man, but I didn't expect him to give birth to such an honest child. If he didn't take advantage of this opportunity, Luo Sha would feel like he was losing out. Karula and Yukira talked to Luo Sha yesterday and were very nice to Wang Tu. They didn't know why Luo Sha thought Wang Tu was his future relative. After all, Wang Tu was only an 18-year-old boy and hadn't even gotten married yet. But out of unconditional trust in Luo Sha, it is right to win over Wang Tu. Let's convince Sun Wukong first. After the three of them exchanged greetings, Luo Sha took out a clay box. Luo Sha, can you let me try? Yi Kang asked expectantly. No problem at all. In the past 2 years, Yikang has been refining chakra for the maximum time every day until he's exhausted. Yikang's endurance has become stronger. At the age of 16, he can already fight briefly with a cage-level strongman without being at a disadvantage. Yikang is now between cage and quasi-cage. If we go by the previous standards of the Sand Village, Yikang is already a cage-level powerhouse. After the level assessment of Sunagakure was raised, the current assessment standard is the most difficult among the 5 villages. Yikang was not sure, so he had not started the promotion assessment yet. In fact, once one passes the promotion, he or she can become a candidate for the next Kazekage. However, the 4th Kazekage has already been appointed, so Yikang needs to be ranked as the 5th. Yikang didn't care about the position of Kazekage. What she cared about was that the famous Shikuten Suji was recognized by the entire ninja world. As a cage-level master, her goal is to surpass Tsunade and Chiyo and become the #1 female ninja in the ninja world. Yikang has a very strong personality and wants to fight the 4 tails alone, so Luo Sha naturally won't refuse if anything unexpected happens. He can also cover for Yikang. Luo Sha called the Sealing Squad, set up the 4 purple flame formation at training ground #1, and broke the seal on the clay box. Red chakra broke out of the box and condensed into a huge red ape. I'm free, ha 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 ha, son. Wukong pounded his chest excitedly and laughed loudly. Son Wukong, I want to conquer you. Fight with me. Yi Kang held a kunai and took a fighting stance. Sun Wukong stared with eyes as big as copper bells, thinking back to the years he had been sealed by humans, and anger rose in his heart. Lao Ji, burning river fire breathing. Sun Wukong smashed the ground with both hands, creating a huge volcanic impact on the ground and attacking Yikang. Yikang dodged instantly, while his hands continued to move, firing several flaming kunai. Sun Wukong casually slapped the kunai, but he didn't expect Yikang to get close to him, and the red ball of light in his hand hit its face directly, burning. Escape, steam kill. The huge column of fire engulfed Sun Wukong's head, and Sun Wukong took 2 steps back in pain. Oh, I am going to burn you to death, Sun Wukong roared, and countless magma balls condensed in his mouth. Molten. Escape, scorching river rock flow technique. Yi Kang didn't dare to take it head on. He kept moving among the dense magma balls and dodged all the attacks with ease. It's my turn. Scorch release, Nirvana. Yi Kang transformed into a firebird, and a loud bird cry resounded through the sky. The firebird gathered great power and charged straight towards Sun Wukong. Upon seeing this, Sun Wukong transformed into a magma form, and an incredibly thick layer of chakra condensed on his body. Melting granite. This is its defensive ninjutsu, which not only has strong defensive power, but can also burn the opponent. Boom. Luo Sha and the other 2 who were watching from a distance felt a high temperature coming towards them, and the temperature inside the 4 purple flame formation rose sharply. The black smoke made it impossible to see the situation inside the venue. Luo Sha activates his superpowers to sense Yikang's condition at any time to ensure that nothing happens to Yikang. Chapter 167 Sun Wukong, 2 bullying much of the beast. The black smoke dissipated, and Sun Wukong crossed his arms in front of his chest, and Yu Kang's fist was against Sun Wukong's arm. A tie. Wang Tu cried out in surprise. He knew all too well the strength of the four-tailed fox. Yu Kang is only 16 years old. Wang Tu was sweating. Aren't there too many monsters in Sand Village? At this moment, something strange happened on the field. A red light suddenly appeared on Yu Kang's hand again, and a clear bird song sounded again. The second attack of Burning Release, Nirvana. This move is hard to guard against. This is Yu Kang's trump card. If you don't know Yu Kang's intelligence, it's easy to suffer a great loss. Sun Wukong was unable to react in time and was hit head-on by Yu Kang's ultimate move. The Firebird engulfed the huge Monkey King, and his screams of pain resounded through the sky. The four purple flame formation isolate everything, and the Sand Village was not affected in any way. The Firebird dissipated and Sun Wukong knelt on one knee in pain. Yu Kang did a backflip and landed lightly about 10 meters in front of Sun Wukong. Human, you have completely pissed me off, Sun. Wukong transformed into lava form and entered the molten chakra mode. The huge-tailed beast ball condensed in his mouth, emitting an aura of destruction. Yu Kang did not dodge, but raised a smile at the corner of his mouth and snapped his fingers handsomely. The sound of birds singing was heard again between heaven and earth, and the huge firebird swallowed up Sun Wukong again. What? The tailed beast ball was forced to stop and exploded in Sun Goku's mouth. The firebirds dispersed and Sun Wukong fell to the ground. Hi, impossible. This is impossible. Wang Tu stood there in a daze, looking at the scene in disbelief. That's the four-tailed fox, Yu Kang single brush four tails. This is the Nirvana Trio, a new move that Yu Kang has improved this year. 4. Unsuspecting ninjas. This is an absolute killer move. Even a cage-level warrior will fall. Karula explained intelligence is very important to ninjas because most ninjas are ninjutsu-type ninjas, with high attack, high speed and low defense. There are too few physical skills. Ninjas. Isafi sat on Karula's shoulder, watching the game while chewing an apple. At this moment, Isabu's expression was exactly the same as Wang Tu's. His eyes were dull and he looked confused. He's so strong, but Sun Wukong was defeated by Yu Kang. Son Goku was knocked unconscious by his own full-strength attack with a tailed beast ball. Luo Sha touched Isuo and said, I'm so scared. I told you. When did Sun Wukong become so fragile? Isafu heaved a sigh of relief. Sun Wukong's poor performance was really a disgrace to the tailed beasts, but Sister Yu Kang is amazing. She grasped the timing just right. Iso's starry eyes and turtle face worshipped. The tailed beast ball was charged to 99% and exploded in his mouth. Just as it was about to be fired, Sun Wukong was not killed by the explosion. His defense is indeed high. Isabu, the rest of the comfort work will be left to you. Luo Sha touched the turtle shell and took Jifu in his hand. No problem, leave it to me. Isabu patted his chest confidently. When Sun Wukong woke up, he found a little turtle lying on his head. Isabu, why is it you, son? Wukong is a chakra creature, and as long as the chakra is still there, he can recover extremely quickly. It has been fully restored. That's right, blah blah. Isafe began to persuade Sun Wukong earnestly to join the Sand Village, but unexpectedly angry Sun Wukong, how can you, a traitor, surrender to humans? Do you know how I have lived these years? I have been sealed in a small space by humans, and they have exploited me every day for a full 30 years, son. Goku roared angrily. If Isafi wasn't the most gentle and popular of the tailed beasts, he would have punched him. If it was the nine-tailed fox and the one-tailed fox in front of it, it wouldn't even bother to listen. Sagakure and Iwagakure are different. Look at Shukaku and I. We have always been free and live a very comfortable life. Isabu continued to persuade patiently. Shukaku, Humph, Tsunagakure and Iwagakure are both ninja villages. They are birds of a feather. You are deceived by the appearance of Tsunagakure. No matter how Isabu explained, Sun Wukong just wouldn't listen. Hey, don't be so angry. How about I help you calm down? Luo Sha appeared instantly, crossing his arms and saying, haha, human, just you. Sun Wukong sneered and prepared to take action. Sun Wukong, wake up. Luo Sha is the new god of the ninja world. Jiafu suddenly panicked and quickly tried to persuade him, as he didn't want Sun Wukong to be beaten bloody. Unfortunately, Sun Wukong had a bad temper and punched Luo Sha. Its most signature abilities are lava release and physical skills. Luo Sha instantly activated the Takuwa Sage technique, A green mask appeared on his face, and he entered the Takuwa Sage mode. Luo Sha caught Sun Wukong's fist with one finger and said with a joking smile, "Little monkey, don't be so bad-tempered. If soft means don't work, then we have to use hard means." Even Shukaku, a stubborn raccoon cat, was influenced by Sunagakure. "You little four tails dare to show off in front of Sunagakure." Luo Sha picked up Sun Wukong with one hand and started smashing him to the ground. Bang bang bang. "Are you satisfied?" After smashing for a full 10 minutes, Luo Sha stopped and asked, "No. I don't accept." Sun Wukong replied with a bruised face. Isuo covered his face. There was no hope. "Well, it looks like I need to let you experience the treatment Shukaku received before." The fairy chakra in Luo Sha's hand lit up and turned into a scalpel, which he slashed at Sun Wukong's body. Sun Wukong turned into pieces of chakra cubes, exactly 108 pieces. "Are you satisfied?" "Asshole, I won't give in." Sun Wukong continued to be stubborn, which made it angry. Luo Sha continued cutting Sun Wukong into 216 equal pieces. "How terrible. Fortunately, I surrendered early." Isuofu was shaking with fear, and he covered his face with his claws, but a gap was left, and he peeked through his squinting eyes. In the end, Sun Wukong was cut into more than 2,000 pieces, but he still did not give in. "Why bother?" Luo Sha said helplessly that he was tired of cutting. "Uncle Li Feng, I'm sending a customer to be your experimental material. It's a tailed beast. Do you want to accept it?" Luo Sha took out the Pokémon encyclopedia and called Li Feng. After Sun Wukong was sent to Li Feng's base by Luo Sha, he completely collapsed. No, I give in. I give in. I surrender. I surrender. I surrender." Ishimaru pleaded for Sun Wukong and rescued him at the last moment when he was thrown into the septic tank. Woo. "This is too much of a bully for the beast. I want to go back to Iwagakure." Woo. Sun Wukong fell to the ground, leaving chakra beans. This was the first time it cried in its more than 1,000 years of life as a tailed beast. Ishimaru stood on Sun Wukong's shoulder and comforted him patiently. Wang Tu watched the whole process and felt a chill all over his body. There are not only many monsters in Sand Village, but also many perverts. Wang Tu wanted to run away, but he didn't dare to. Sun Wukong cried for an hour and his tears didn't stop. "It is really too unfair." Jifu held his forehead inside tiredly. He was so thirsty from the comfort. Luo Sha lost his patience and walked up to him and tapped Sun Wukong's leg. "Cry again and I'll send you back to the septic tank." Sun Wukong suddenly fell silent and looked at Luo Sha eagerly. "He looks like a pitiful little bully. You follow Yikang from now on and obey Yikang's command. Do you understand?" Sun Wukong sat on the ground with his hands on his knees and nodded obediently. "Sunagakure will give you the best treatment. If you have any problems, you can tell me directly and I will solve them for you. But if you dare to betray Sunagakure, I will make sure to seal your head in a septic tank for 100 years. Sun Wukong was sweating coldly, but continued to nod obediently. "Okay, let's transform into mini form." Sun Wukong became the same size as Ishimaru and sat obediently on Yikang's shoulders. Yikang tried to reach out and touch Sun Wukong's furry body, but Sun Wukong did not resist at all. Luo Sha was satisfied, and Wang Tu was dumbfounded. Huang Tu, can the tailed beasts be tamed in this way? Chapter 168, Changes in Sand Village. In Rock Village. Night of February 35th, second year of Sand Village. At the Sunagakure food stall, Luo Sha and his group walked in. "Boss, give me a case of wine and 3 bottles of pot juice." "Okay, please." "Forgive me, brother Huang Tu. The 3 of us are still underage and cannot drink." I'll just drink juice." "That won't do. This is Sunagakure's specialty wine. You can't get it in Iwagakure. It's a rare opportunity to come to Sunagakure. It would be a shame not to try it." "Actually, I didn't either." Order food, order food." Luo Sha interrupted Wang Tu's words. He had originally planned to get Wang Tu drunk. Wang Tu silently swallowed the words he had not finished saying. He had been quite frightened today and was still in shock. He did not dare to refute Luo Sha at all. "Brother Huang Tu, welcome to the Sand Village. I'll toast to you." Luo Sha took the juice and poured wine for Wang Tu. Wang Tu drank the glass of wine honestly. "Brother Wang Tu, I'll toast to you too." Yi Kang drank the glass of juice heroically. Wang Tu drank another glass of wine. Jiao followed and clinked glasses with Huang Tu. Huangtu drank another glass of wine, a box of wine, all for Huangtu, the only adult. An hour later, Huangtu was drunk by the three men. His face was red, his mouth was not straight, and he gurgled every time he spoke. After getting drunk, Huangtu was no longer reserved and became much more relaxed. The atmosphere among the four of them became increasingly harmonious. As the banquet was about to end, Luo Sha took out an elf egg and said, "Brother, you really suit my taste. This is my gift to you. May our friendship last forever." "Hey, brother, this is embarrassing." Huangtu sobered up a little and refused. "Don't be polite, bro. Just take it. This little guy is capable of becoming a cage-level main force." Huangtu was very excited when he heard this, but he felt embarrassed to accept it. This is a unicorn rhino elf egg produced by the system, with an individual value of at least 3 weight. Luo Sha stuffed the elf egg into Huangtu's hand and said, "I really get along well with my brother. If he feels bad about it, why don't we make a pact? When we have children, if they are of the same sex, we can be brothers and sisters, and if they are of the opposite sex, we can be husband and wife. How about that? This can be considered as bringing our two families closer together. Isn't this just a courtesy exchange between relatives?" Huangtu was stunned when he heard this, and after thinking for a while, he realized that this matter would not do any harm to Yanai, and the Sand Village is willing to take the Iwagakure out to play, which will be of only benefit to the Iwagakure and no harm at all. Huangtu stammered, This is of course a good thing. How about we make a marriage contract here?" Luo Sha quickly responded, not giving Huangtu time to think. Jia Luo was so excited that he quickly wrote a marriage certificate and handed the pen to Huangtu. Huangtu took the pen in a daze, looked at the marriage certificate carefully, and racked his rusty brain, but still couldn't find any problems. Huangtu remembered Inoki's warning to be careful with Luo Sha and not to promise anything. "But if my father knew about this marriage certificate, he would be so happy, right?" Huangtu feels like he's missing out on 100 million if he doesn't sign when he has a son and marries Luo Sha's daughter. Won't Iwagakure go crazy? Secondly, if he married his daughter to Tsunagakure, Iwagakure and Tsunagakure could become closer. Huangtu never considered the possibility that he would only have one daughter in the future. Huangtu signed his name in 2 copies, one kept by Luo Sha and the other by Huangtu. Luo Sha put away the marriage certificate with satisfaction, and enthusiastically put his arm around Huangtu's shoulder and continued chatting. "Of course there is no problem with this marriage certificate. Luo Sha knows the future, and there is no need to set a trap for Iwagakure. He didn't want much, just the entire Iwagakure village." The next day, Huangtu woke up from bed and rubbed his forehead with a headache. Drank too much? Huangtu regained his senses and recalled what happened last night, his pupils trembling. Huangtu immediately got out of bed, found a marriage certificate, and studied it carefully for a long time. "No problem. It seems that brother Luo Sha didn't cheat me. It turns out that my father is too cautious. How can a 15-year-old boy be so scheming?" Huangtu was touched. He didn't expect Luo Sha to treat him so sincerely. "How can I doubt Luo Sha, brother? You really can't listen to your father. How can you make close friends if you do this?" Huangtu felt a little apologetic as he had just suspected that Luo Sha had ulterior motives. Luo Sha gave him a gifted elf and was willing to become his relative, so he really shouldn't doubt others. After cleaning up the Lois, he nervously came to training ground number 1. Yi Kang has already started practicing with the elves. Karula and Luo Sha were talking about love, and next to them, 2 werewolves were also in love. "Brother Huangtu, how was your rest?" Luo Sha saw the Lois and smiled brightly. "Very good. The environment, culture, elves, and people's livelihood of Tsunagakure are really too advanced. If I hadn't seen it with my own eyes, I really wouldn't believe that there is a ninja village that can be so perfect. I wonder when Iwagakure will be able to reach this level." Huangtu smiled and boasted about what he had seen and heard along the way. In the past 2 years, the Iwagakure village has been following the Sand Village and has developed well. At least it has left the Cloud Village in Konoha behind by a large margin. Iwagakure formed an army of 6,000 insects, an army of 1,000 gallopasses, and an army of 1,000 sandslashes. The bug army has 3,000 beedrills, 1,000 poison moths, and 1,000 hunting swallowtails, all of which are white-quality bug-type Pokémon. In addition, the insect army also has 1,000 green-quality elves, Moru moths. Inoki fully supports Kamisarai Ubi, which enables the insect army to develop rapidly, become powerful, and firmly occupy the position of the first army in the past 2 years, Kamasuryu Piichi has developed the Beedrill Type 3 potion. And his main Beedrill has broken through to the level of Jonin as a result. Kamasuryu Hai became a genius on par with Wang Tu, and the two were hailed as the Iwagakure twins. Gallant and Sandslash are green quality Pokemon. Iwagakure gathered 1,000 of them to form a legion. In addition to the 3 major legions, Iwagakure also formed 3 elite forces. Double Bomb Gas Unit, number 50, Sho is the unit leader. The Yandano Crab unit consists of 50 crabs, and Wang Tu is the leader of the unit. A Clay Giant Army, numbering 100, is directly under the Kazekage. These 3 Pokemon are all blue quality and very powerful. Clay Titan is the dominant Pokemon in the Tugan habitat, and was captured by Inoki himself. The Clay Titan has a racial stat of 483 and a physical attack of 123, and is extremely good in all subjects. Although it is slow, it can learn sneak attacks and digging, which makes up for its speed disadvantage. The most important thing is that the Clay Giants have a long lifespan and can be passed down for N generations. With so many advantages coming together, Inoki directly formed the Clay Titans into a unit directly under that Kazekage. Whether it is the Legion or the troops, Iwagakure was built in imitation of Sunagakure. Inoki is indeed a capable person. Although Iwagakure is not outstanding in any aspect, he was able to bring it to such a high position. It's unlike the Karigakure next door, which had such an excellent foundation, but because of the problem of its leader, it was relegated to the 5th position. Chapter 169 Gym Matters. Brother Luo Sha, I have a question, mainly about the establishment of gyms. The Land of Earth also wants to open gyms, but there are too few trainers who meet the standards. Can the standards for gym masters be lowered? Wang Tu asked embarrassedly. Wang Tu's question made Luo Sha a little embarrassed. The requirements for gym masters in the Sands Village are very simple. They must have good character, strong strength, and be able to guard the area. Character is assessed based on past experiences, and as long as one has never been to jail, there is usually no problem. However, when it comes to strength rating, Sunagakure has very high requirements. There must be at least 3 elves that have reached level 61. Every gym owner of the 6 gyms currently open has met this standard. Except for Xiao Ai, the lucky chosen one. The other 5 gym masters are all ninjas. 4 of the gym leaders are sand ninjas, and 1 of the gym leaders is a Hoshigakure ninja. The Xingqian gym was established only after Shuangda and Shuanger, who are both from Xingayan, joined forces to become the gym leader. Due to Luo Sha's strict standards, no new gyms have been established in over a year. The last gym established was the Nibi gym in Xiao Ai. There are many Jonin level trainers among the people, and the best among them have already trained elite Jonin level Pokemon. But no one has 3 elite Jonin level Pokemon. And Sand Village now has 64 elite Jonin, who hold a lofty status in Sand Village. No one is willing to leave Sunagakure, the power center, and go to the local area to serve as a gym leader. That's no different from being demoted. Duonyu and Jiayu obviously have their own reasons for wanting to leave the Sand Village. Duonyu did it for her dream of becoming a female leader, while Jiayu did it to avoid Jindai's persecution. The key is that the 2 of them come from large families in Sunagakure, so they don't have to worry about losing their connections in Sunagakure. They have found a successor who can return to the Sand Village at any time. Ninjas were unwilling to serve as gym masters, and strong civilians were not qualified, resulting in no new gyms being established for more than a year. Cities such as Hulan City, Golden Yellow City, and Deadleaf City have all built gyms and are waiting for gym owners to move in. These cities submitted countless gym applications to Luo Sha, but all of them were rejected by Luo Sha. Rosa adheres to the principle of better to have nothing than to have something less than perfect and is unwilling to lower the requirements of the gym leader. There are still about 100 or 80 Jonin level trainers among the civilians in the entire ninja world, but they are obviously not qualified to be gym masters because it is very difficult for elves to break through the bottleneck of LV60. 90% of the Jonin trainers will die at this level. Luo Sha and his friends never worry about the bottleneck of LV60, because these Pokemon are produced by Xiao Ai. The Pokemon produced by Xiao Ai, even a caterpillar, can break through LV60. If Rosa captures it himself and spends decades training a caterpillar to level 91, Rayquaza might just have a distant relative. Even if you want to be like Xiao Ai, cultivate an elite Jonin's Pokemon and then capture 2 elite Jonin's Pokémons to reach the threshold of a gym master, there will be no problem. At least Xiao Ai has proved his ability, and he can cultivate the spirit of an elite Jonin on his own. Unfortunately, in more than a year, No other civilian trainer has reached the standards of a gym master. However, the Elf Alliance has not yet been established, so there is plenty of time and Luo Sha is not in a hurry. When the alliance is established, if there are still not enough gym leaders, he can send the elite Jonin from Sunagakure to take the position first. But other countries really can't seem to find enough gym leaders. The land of Earth developed late, and there are very few Jonin trainers among the common people. There are also very few Jonin trainers in the Iwagakure village. According to the current situation, if the land of Earth wants to build 8 gyms, it will probably take a long time. Wang Tu wants to lower the threshold for establishing a gym in the land of Earth. In other words, the threshold for establishing gyms in other major countries can be lowered. Luo Sha briefly assessed the situation in the land of Earth and said, if you want to become a gym leader in the land of Earth, you need an elite Jonin level Pokemon and 2 Jonin level Pokemon. That's the bottom line. Thank you, brother Luo Sha. Wang Tu's face was full of gratitude. According to this standard, the Hidden Rock Village could still find a few gym masters. The main reason why Iwagakure is so urgent is because of Inoki. Inoki discovered that the gym had taken over local power. Gym masters have the responsibility to defend the town and need to form a gym guard, thus intervening in the local armed forces. The gym leader needs to catch criminals who violate the elf law and thus intervene in the local justice system. The dojo represents the image of a city and can have its voice heard in newspapers, thereby intervening in local diplomacy. All expenses of the dojo will be borne by the local authorities. The status of a gym owner is nominally the same as that of the local city lord. Because the gym owner has mastered martial arts, he is actually half a level higher than the city lord. Behind the gym leader is Sunagakure. Inoki discovered a horrible fact. The opening of gym masters in Sunagakure was completely eroding the power of the daimyo. Aside from administration, is there anything that a gym leader cannot interfere with? The key point is that daimyo doesn't dare to say a word, name, zhizhizhi, because the dojo protected the local area. It was loved by the local people. If the daimyo dares to close the gym, it will anger both the Sunagakure and the local people. The Sunagakure slapped the daimyo in the face, but the daimyo had to applaud. Inoki sat in the office for a long time in silence. Rasa was challenging the authority of all daimyo. However, those good-for-nothings didn't notice it at all. The daimyo of the Wind Country might have noticed it, but he didn't dare to say it. Inoki was tempted, and he also wanted to follow the example of Sunagakure and build a gym in the land of Earth, but it requires Sunagakure's approval. Inoki was itching to do something, so before Huangtu went on the mission, he gave Huangtu many instructions and urged him to ask Luo Sha to lower the standards for establishing a dojo. Even Iwagakure can pay the price for this. Huangtu was drunk by Luo Sha yesterday and was led by Luo Sha throughout the whole process, so he forgot about this matter. Today I woke up and the first thing I did was to talk about the gym. Although he didn't understand why his father attached so much importance to the gym. Isn't it just sending someone to guard an area? Huangtu did not see through the interests involved behind the gym, and he asked Inoki but did not get an answer. Inoki just gave him a meaningful look and asked him to figure it out for himself. Huangtu didn't realize anything. He just felt that his father was seriously ill. Even though you know he is stupid, you still want to play charades with him. Huangtu, if I could understand, would I still ask you? Huangtu originally thought that this would be a very difficult negotiation and was nervous for a long time on the way, but Luo Sha gave in so easily. Luo Sha really treated him as a brother. Huangtu felt even more guilty and always wanted to compensate Luo Sha. Huangtu hesitated again and again, and said, in fact, father said that Iwagakure can pay for it if you agree to lower the standards for gym leaders. After Huangtu finished speaking, a blush flashed across her face. Huangtu comforted himself in his heart that he was not betraying the village. He was doing this to consolidate the friendship between the two villages. And his friendship with Luo Sha. Luo Sha looked at Huangtu in shock. He didn't expect Huangtu to be so naive when he was young. No wonder Inoki felt that Gento was not capable of being the fourth Kazekage. Don't you want the free one? Must pay for it. Isn't free nice? Yukang and Jialo on the side also opened their mouths wide and looked at Huangtu in disbelief. That's the look one gives to a rare animal. Why are you looking at me like that? Huangtu scratched his head and asked embarrassedly. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 170, Inoki is dead? Ahem, Brother Huangtu, given our relationship, I'll just ask directly, what price is that such a kage prepared to pay? Luo Sha adjusted his expression and asked seriously. Huangtu recalled Unoki's words at that time and said vividly, my father said to me, that kid Luo Sha is a money grubber. If we throw money at him, he will definitely give in. Huangtu, I'll give you a maximum limit of 2 million taels, and you can start the negotiation from 1 million taels. Huangtu paused, looked at Luo Sha's sincere eyes, and continued, father also said, that kid Luo Sha is very cunning and has many schemes. During the negotiation, you should just sit still and not say anything, and let the delegation behind you do the work. Luo Sha looked at the yellow earth speechlessly, not knowing how to comment. There is no need to be so honest. Huangtu smiled embarrassedly, Luo Sha, everything my father said is wrong. You are not that kind of person at all. I must tell my father about your true character when I go back so that he will change his mind about you. I apologize to you for my father's misunderstanding of you. Please don't mind. After Huangtu finished speaking, he bowed 90 degrees with a sincere look on his face. Luo Sha quickly helped Huangtu up and hugged him with emotion. Brother Huangtu, you are really my dear brother. If you don't abandon me, let's become brothers with different surnames. Luo Sha always felt that he was very stupid yesterday. Yesterday he had taken great pains to get Huangtu drunk and persuaded her to sign the marriage contract. With Huangtu's personality, he doesn't even need to lie. Huangtu will jump into the pit on his own. He was so stupid that he couldn't bear to lie. Ah. Is that really possible? I am unknown now, and you are already a famous and powerful person, Huangtu asked cautiously. Of course, you are my recognized brother. Although we are from different villages, it does not hinder our brotherhood. Huangtu was even more moved. He was Inoki's only son, and he didn't expect to have a younger brother when he came to the Sand village. Huangtu said tearfully, you haven't taken my money yet. How about I talk to the envoy and give you the 2 million taels? The Iwagakure delegation is staying in the hotel. If they knew what happened here, they would probably go crazy. Talking about money hurts our feelings. Since you insist on giving it to me, just give me 1 million taels as a token of your appreciation. Luo Sha waved his hands and said helplessly. He looked as if he was saying, I didn't ask to take it, I was forced to do so. Karula and Yukira have been petrified. What is going on? The first time I saw someone giving money was 1 million taels. Isabu and Sun Wukong looked at each other and looked at the yellow earth with pity. Oh my god, how can there be a creature dumber than Kurama? Huangtu stayed in the Sand village for 3 days, and Luo Sha took Huangtu on a tour of the Sand village in the northern sand oasis. Huangtu saw a hippo king fishing. What about Xiao? Luo Sha searched for a long time in confusion and found Xiao swimming in the lake in the doggy paddle style. Luo Sha quickly pulled Huangtu away from here. Xiao is the spokesperson for Dianxi Royal Jewelry and the most influential woman in the ninja world with sales of 25 billion taels of jewelry each year. If word of Xiao's condition got out, the daimyo's wives would stop buying his products and Luo Sha would cry his heart out. In the small forest in the south, Huangtu saw various rare elves, and Luo Sha called them the 3 great elves. Huangtu took notes seriously, looking like a good student. Luo Sha took a curious look at it. The painting style was abstract. Charizard was drawn as a lizard, Bulbasaur was drawn as a frog, and Blastoise was drawn as a turtle that didn't look like a turtle. In the 5 major scenic spots in the west, Huangtu watched the swan waltz performed by the famous ninja dance team Dancing Swan. With a beautiful singing of Jigglypuff, Huangtu successfully fell asleep. Huangtu's behavior angered Pudding, who disregarded etiquette and drew a turtle on Huangtu's face. This turtle is much stronger than the one painted with yellow earth carrying the works of Jigglypuff. We visited the 5 major scenic spots. Luo Sha, why is everyone looking back at me? Huangtu asked doubtfully. These tourists are from the Kingdom of Wind. You obviously have the characteristics of the Kingdom of Earth, so they are bound to be curious. Luo Sha was talking nonsense seriously. So that's how it is. This is the first time I've been walking on the street and there are so many people staring at me. I feel embarrassed. In the end, Yukang laughed so hard that his stomach hurt, and told Huangtu the truth. The Lois was angry. Luo Sha is smooth. The Lois is no longer angry. In the East Wind Oasis in the east, Huangtu saw the flying troops of Sand Village. This is the flying unit of Sunagakure. I call it the East Wind Express. It can reach all over the world at high speed. Sunagakure's trump card. Everyone who sees it will be killed. Luo Sha introduced proudly. Luo Sha did not deceive Wang Tu. The flying unit was indeed the trump card of Sand Village. It's just the smallest trump card of Sunagakure. 400 flying elves, together with 400 elite ninjas. Each ninja is equipped with chakra armor. The armor gleamed brightly in the sunlight. Its surface was as smooth as a mirror and engraved with a unique and eye-catching pattern, which was the logo of the Sand Village. 400 elves, including Archaeopteryx, pterosaurs, desert dragonflies and tropical dragons, flew together, which caused a huge shock to Huang Tu's small heart-flying troops. This is the ability that Iwagakure lacks. Wang Tu took notes seriously and drew 4 abstract patterns. It is so abstract that tropical dragons will have hormone disorders when they see it and will not be able to produce fruit. Except for Dongsha Oasis, Wang Tu walked through all the streets of Sunagakure. Luo Sha really likes this honest brother. When the Elf Alliance is established, Wang Tu will definitely be a good cowherd for the Elf Alliance. No, it's a good horse from the Elf Alliance, brother. Luo Sha, please come to the Hidden Rock Village when you have the chance. I will treat you well. No problem, I will definitely come back later. I'm just afraid that Inoki won't welcome me. Luo Sha silently took back the second half of his words, otherwise it would ruin the sad atmosphere at the moment. I've had such a great time these 3 days. You've been so kind to me. Wang Tu wiped away his tears as he spoke. Luo Sha had been with him almost all the time for the past 3 days. They were closer to him than real brothers. The Iwagakure delegation looked at the yellow earth and dumbfounded. What was going on? They were under house arrest in the hotel for 3 days. What on earth was happening in the outside world? Wang Tu cried more and more, and Luo Sha had no choice but to cry with him. If you really can't cry, just wipe it with sand. There was sand in Luo Sha's eyes, but tears managed to flow out. Everyone in Sunagakure was also dumbfounded. This world was truly magical. The 4th generation is crying, because of someone you've only known for 3 days. Zhongyu and Gadex's pupils trembled. They didn't believe that Luo Sha had such acting skills. That can only mean. Luo Sha really cried. The two said goodbye reluctantly until Wang Tu was pulled into the high-speed train by the Iwagakure delegation and left. Luo Sha immediately turned around and asked Karula to blow his eyes. He accidentally sprinkled too much sand just now, otherwise he wouldn't have cried so many tears. The people behind Luo Sha were speechless. Sure enough, this was the Yondaime they knew. When Wang Tu returned to Iwagakure and reported to Inoki about what happened in Sunagakure, Inoki's face turned blue and purple. Inoki gripped the corner of the table with his hands, trying hard to suppress the anger in his heart. Brother Luo Sha is so kind. I felt bad for him, so I paid him 1 million taels. PFFT. Inoki pointed at the yellow earth, spat out 3 liters of old blood, and fainted. Chapter 171. Inoki is about to have a heart attack. Father, Huang Tu hurried forward to support Inoki and shouted anxiously, someone, that Sachikage has fainted. Contact the hospital. Wang Tu carried Inoki on his back and ran towards Iwagakure Hospital. 2 hours later, Inoki woke up on the hospital bed. Dad, you finally woke up. What happened to you? You scared me to death just now. Huang Tu was guarding by the bed. He was the first to notice that Inoki had woken up and immediately came to Inoki. When Inoki opened his eyes and saw Huang Tu's big face, he suddenly became furious and had a myocardial infarction. He spat out a mouthful of blood onto Huang Tu's round face. Inoki rolled his eyes and fainted again. Doctor, what's going on? Why did my father vomit blood as soon as he woke up? Is he terminally ill? He was only 50 years old. My family's grave hasn't been renovated yet. Now that he's gone, we'll have to wait a month to visit his grave. Woo woo woo. Wang Tu wiped the blood off his face and began to cry like a man. Is this okay to say? The doctor hesitated for a long time and took the patient's pulse over and over again. After confirming that the test results were correct, the doctor said carefully, Lord Huang Tu. Lord Sachikage was so angry that his blood rushed up and his heart was choked up. That's why he vomited blood and fainted. Wang Tu listened and asked in confusion, why is my father angry? Has anything big happened in Iwagakure recently? Upon hearing this, the doctor stared at the earth in silence. Wang Tu looked back, his face full of curiosity. Seeing Wang Tu's clear eyes, the doctor reminded, Master Huang Tu, think carefully, have you done anything recently to offend Master Sachikage? Me? No, is it because of the 1 million ryo? But isn't the limit 2 million ryo? I clearly saved 1 million ryo for the Iwagakure village. Wang Tu fell into self-doubt. Tell me in detail what happened to you in Sunagakure. Akina couldn't bear to see it anymore, so he grabbed Huangtu's shoulder and said seriously. If Huangtu continues to act stupidly, Iwagakure can really hold a funeral for the Sandaime. Huangtu recounted the experience of Sand Village in detail, and Akina looked devastated. No one noticed that Unoki, who was unconscious on the bed, had his hands trembling slightly and slowly clenched into fists. Brother. Luo Sha and I signed the marriage certificate. This is it. I checked it carefully and there is absolutely no problem. Wang. Tu spread out the marriage certificate and let Akina look at it. Brother. Luo Sha is really a good man. I am lucky to have met him in my life. Wang. Tu wiped away her tears with emotion and continued, I don't know why my father has such a strong prejudice against him. It's prejudice. Akina looked at Huangtu with a serious expression, pressed his hand against his chest, and tried hard to calm his disordered breathing. He is the son of that Tsuchikage-sama. You can't hit him. You can't hit him. Bang. 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 Anoki was awakened by Huangtu's anger, and he floated up and hit Huangtu's big head. Huangtu is more than 2 meters tall, and if Anoki doesn't float up, he can only hit Huangtu's knees. Dad, why did you hit me? Huangtu had a bump on his head and shouted in grievance, I will beat you to death, you rebellious son. Rebellious son. Rebellious son. Every time Anoki cursed him as a rebellious son, he would punch him, and his yellow face was swollen. Dad, please be careful with your waist and take care of yourself. I thought you were going to see Grandpa just now. Huangtu acted as a punching bag and never forgot to care about Anoki's health. He had no sense of dancing at a grave. Anoki paused, he was so angry that he almost choked. Akina hid behind the door, shivering, and looked at the yellow earth with pity. He and Anoki knew exactly what kind of person Huangtu was this time. He was sent to the Sand Village as an envoy, and it happened that Huangtu had just been promoted to a lead. John and Unoki gave the task to Huangtu in order to let him see the world. This is the first time that Huangtu has made a diplomatic mission to other ninja villages. Huangtu only needs to show his face and hand over the important task to the members of the delegation. The results of it, that damn kid Luo Sha trapped the delegation in the embassy. Huangtu was cheated without even realizing it. Now he is turning around to seek justice for Luo Sha. The little sand-hidden kid bullies me because I'm old and weak. Anoki really wanted to use dust release to blow away Rasa now. Of course, he only dared to think about it. He would just be giving away his life if he went up there. What Anoki regrets most now is that he didn't shoot the yellow earth at the wall. How could he, who had been so smart all his life, give birth to such a stupid son? Unoki was tired of fighting, so he grabbed the marriage certificate, took out a magnifying glass, and interpreted every word of the marriage certificate. He didn't believe that Luo Sha didn't dig a hole. As the sun rose and the moon rose, Anoki studied the marriage certificate hundreds of times. Dad, brother Luo Sha would never cheat me. We are sworn brothers. He even gave me a fairy egg, took me to visit Sand Village, and even wanted to become my in-law. Huangtu yawned and sat on the chair, moldy. Unoki ignored the yellow soil that was cursed and focused on his own research. Shouldn't it be? Shouldn't it be? How is it possible? My method must be wrong. Anoki was like a madman, constantly trying various methods to crack the marriage certificate. Wetness, sunlight refraction, friction with sand, changing angles. Anoki still couldn't find the flaw and finally gave up helplessly. Could it be that the boy really didn't cheat me, and this is really just a normal marriage certificate? Anoki began to doubt himself. He always felt that something was wrong with Luo Sha. Do a business that would lose money, especially the idiot Huangtu, who kept emphasizing how good Luo Sha was and how precious the elf egg he gave her was. The more Huangtu emphasized, the more uneasy Anoki became. Anoki sat dejectedly on the edge of the bed, staring blankly at the marriage certificate in his hand. It's already signed, what else can I do? He didn't dare to regret it. I can only marry my granddaughter, granddaughter. Unoki jumped up and exclaimed. Huangtu was drowsy and was suddenly awakened by Unoki. Dad, what are you crazy about? Huangtu muttered in dissatisfaction. Asshole. You still have the nerve to talk like that? Unoki got so angry that he jumped up and kicked Huangtu on the waist. Ow, it is said that Myoboku Mountain has the power of prophecy. That boy Luo Sha must be able to predict the future. You idiot, you sold your daughter without even realizing it. Anoki's face turned red with anger and he pointed at Huangtu's nose and cursed. That's his granddaughter. Ah. That's great too. Our two families will be happily married, and my brother Luo Sha and I will be even closer. Wang Tu said in confusion, not understanding why Yunoki was angry. What? If all the daughters you gave birth to were married to Luo Sha's sons, Yunoki pinched Wang Tu's collar and asked through gritted teeth, then, marry me. I believe brother Luo Sha will definitely treat my daughter well, if there is a genius among them who has inherited the blood elimination and dust escape skills. Inoki couldn't continue speaking. He was so heartbroken that he almost couldn't breathe, let alone dust release. Even if it inherited boiling release and lava release, Inoki would treat it as a treasure. Chapter 172, Fanboy Gym, Fi and Gym. Inoki was so anxious that he was fluttering around, but he couldn't think of any solution. This is an imbalance in strength. He does not have the ability to overturn the table and can only follow Luo Sha's script. The marriage certificate is the script that Luo Sha arranged for Iwagakure. The future of Iwagakure really depends on his unborn granddaughter. It was a good thing that Inoki could only try to comfort himself from the Kazekage's perspective. He lost a talented ninja, but gained a kinship with a Kazekage. He made a lot of money from Grandpa's perspective. I've lost so much money that I'm about to lose everything. How did that bastard Luo Sha have the nerve to take away 1 million taels? What Inoki didn't expect was that he would only have one granddaughter in the future, and she would be a genius who could become the fourth Kazekage if he knew. He would probably suffer from high blood pressure, heart disease. You go to Fanboy City and open a gym. You are not allowed to come back without my order. Inoki became more and more disgusted with Huangtu, so he exiled Huangtu to Fanboy Castle. Fanboy Castle is a prosperous city in the land of Earth, quite far away from the Iwagakure village. Inoki now adopts the attitude of out of sight, out of mind towards Wang Tu and has given up on treating Wang Tu. Okay, Wang Tu performed a ninja salute and left in a daze. As a genius of the Iwagakure village, Wang Tu has been greatly trained by the village, and his Pokemon skills are quite strong. He fully meets the standards of a gym leader, with a LV64 Rock Crab and a LV58 the Daojao BB, LV56 Sunrock, LV56 Moonstone, LV54 Raiden, and LV11 Horned Rhino. Although Inoki sent Wang Tu to Fanboy Castle in a fit of rage, it was a well-thought-out decision. There are currently few ninjas in Iwagakure who meet the criteria for gym masters, and those who do are all in important positions. Wang Tu, this young and inexperienced guy, is just the right person for the role. The Iwagakure village had already made preparations to build a gym, and in just half a month, the Fanboy Gym was completed. Inoki immediately kicked Wang Tu to the Fanboy Gym and announced the establishment of the first gym in the land of Earth. Fanboy Gym, Gym Master, Yellow Earth Representative Attribute, Rock Representative Elves, Rock Temple Crab and Great North knows Wang Tu is Luo Sha's good brother. Luo Sha immediately asked the Sand Village Daily to follow up and publicize the Fanboy Gym. Wang Tu is the future star of the Iwagakure village, the fourth Kazekage appointed by Inoki and the greatest genius the Iwagakure village has seen in a year's 100. This time, Wang Tu was sent out for training, and the day he returned to the Iwagakure village would be the day he became that Kazekage. The Sand Village Daily also wrote a revenge literature. I was harmed by a traitor and exiled to a remote and cold place. After 10 years of hard training, I returned with the revenge and ascended to the top of that Kazekage. If you want to hear my revenge story, V50 me and listen to my detailed story. The Sand Village Daily News exaggerated this, and the entire ninja world knew that Inoki was about to die, and they were anxious to find a successor. When Inoki heard the news, he was so angry that his face turned blue, and he twisted his waist in excitement. Akino was not surprised and calmly pushed Inoki into the Iwagakure hospital. The scene of Inoki entering the hospital in a wheelchair was captured by unscrupulous reporters, which helped spread the rumor. Wang Tu was sitting in the back garden of Fanboy Gym, holding a flower and picking the petals one by one. It's sincere. It's not sincere. It's sincere. It's not sincere. It's sincere. Wang Tu was in a good mood after picking 7 petals. I told you. Brother Luo Sha is definitely sincere to me. There is no way he would cheat me. Wang Tu was revived and started working with full energy because of those rumors. Wang Tu was invincible in Fanboy City, and everyone had to give Wang Tu face. Thanks to his honest and simple character, Wang Tu thrived in Fanboy City and ran his gym very successfully. Wang Tu prepared a small fist rock for each apprentice in the gym, taught them diligently and responsibly, and won the hearts of a large number of people. Wang Tu's reputation quickly spread and he became a famous teacher known far and wide. Yan'an Village, the Shang Shulia family, Pei Yi. Starting today, You are the patriarch of the Shangshu Liu Ai, and patted Shangshu Liu Pai on the shoulder and said solemnly, Chief, what do you mean? Aren't you in your prime, Shangshu? Liu Pai asked doubtfully. I'm going to Fian City to be the gym leader. I can only leave the family to you. I see, Kamasu. Ryubi did not refuse. Although the position of clan leader had no appeal to him, it was still the title of the ninja clan leader after all. There are only 8 ninjas in the Kamasu clan, so there is no need for management at all. Don't refuse the title of patriarch in vain. Pai, with you here, the Shangshu family will surely rise up and defeat the Aburim clan and avenge our previous shame. The research results of Kamazu Ryuchi have brought great benefits to Iwagakure village, but the ones who benefit the most must be the upper stream families. The upper water stream family possesses the secret art of controlling insects and is extremely fond of insect-type Pokémon. All 8 upper water type ninjas became bug-type trainers. Beedrill, Venomoth, Parastal, Mormuth, Alidus, and Archaic Dragonfly. These 6 Pokémon have become their standard configuration. Shangshu Liu Ai owns a LV61 Ancient Dragonfly, a LV57 Mormuth, and a LV52 Beedrill, which just meet the minimum standards for a gym owner. Kamasu Ryun did not hold any position in the Iwagakure village, so Inoki sent him to be the gym master. Shangshu Liu Ai accepted it readily. As long as Shangshu Liu Pai stayed in Iwagakure village, it didn't matter where he went. Everyone has to give him some face. Fian Gym and Fanba Gym were completed at the same time. Shangshu Liu Ai immediately took office and went to Fian Gym to be stationed. Shangshu Liu Ai served as the gym master, which was also a disguised way of becoming one of the senior leaders of the Iwagakure village. Fian Gym, Gym Master, Shangshu Liu Ai representative attributes, Insect type representative elves, Ancient Giant Dragonfly, Mormuth. The land of Earth established 2 gyms one after another, and the country that was most stimulated was not the neighboring land of lightning, but the land of water far overseas. Old Ai persuaded Shagu for 2 years before Shagu finally agreed to allow Pokémon to enter the territory of the land of lightning. The spirit industry in the land of lightning is just starting out, so it is too early to set up a gym. But the water country claims to be the 2nd largest Pokémon country, so how could it lag behind the Earth country? Karakal has always believed that he is the secret agent of Sand Village, and that the Karigakure village has been occupied by the Sand Village in disguise. The relationship between the Hidden Mist Village and the Hidden Sand Village will inevitably become closer. The Iwagakure village established 2 gyms at once, and the Karigakure village fell behind. Karakal immediately took out the Pokémon encyclopedia and cried to Luo Sha. Life in Karigakure is so hard, the people of Water Country are so pitiful. Luo Sha was confused after hearing this. What was wrong with Karakal? After figuring out the whole story, Luo Sha also lowered the standards for opening gyms in the Water Kingdom. Karakal happily to select a site to build began a gym and choose a suitable gym master. At this moment, Iwagakure village released another message. The Tarakian habitat is located in the land of Earth. The Hidden Rock village calls Tarakian the Holy Sword of Rock, the protector of the land of Earth. Karakal's mentality collapsed again, and he called Luo Sha again to cry short. The Hidden Mist village must also have a divine beast. Chapter 173, Xiao Ai, the Pillar. In fact, the Hidden Mist village already has a Sukyun, but compared to the perfect form of Tarakian, Sukyun is indeed not good enough. Tarakian is a divine beast, while Sukyun is just a member of the divine beast group. The priest Sukyun is on standby at the Bell Tower habitat. Although there are no sacred beasts in the Water Kingdom, the neighboring Wave Kingdom has 250 of the 3 sacred birds. It is indeed inappropriate to locate the habitat of a group of 3 sacred birds on several small islands. Even though most of the 3 sacred birds are flying around the world and not staying on the island. If Luo Sha thinks it is inappropriate, then it is inappropriate. It's time for the 3 sacred birds to move their nests. There are so many islands in the Water Kingdom, which is just the right place to build the habitat of the 3 sacred birds. 1 bird makes a small island, 2 birds make a large island, and the Water Kingdom has been built into the base camp of the 3 sacred birds. By the way, migrate a few Zapdos to the Yukong habitat to help the priest Zapdos. As for the Storm Sea, there is no need for the 3 sacred birds to guard it. Lugia is the immediate superior of the 3 sacred birds, but Lugia cannot manage them. Because the 3 sacred birds are too rebellious, they always want to be the boss and challenge Lugia's position. There was no way Lugia would like them. Besides, Lugia is a otaku who lives in the deep sea all year round. He will only appear when something big happens to the 3 sacred birds. Ho is the exact opposite of Lugia, He is a travel enthusiast and likes to fly around the world. The three loyal sacred beasts chase after Ho-Oh, serving as his eyes to observe the world. Luo Sha made up his mind to relocate the three sacred birds clan. I just happened to pick up Zonghaya on the way. The country of waves. Zonghaya is migrating elves to the highest mountain range in the land of waves, the Dragon Fantasy Mountains, to build a holy land for elves. The location of the Holy Land needs to be hidden enough. There is no place with good concealment in Wave Country, so Xiao Ai needs to create an artificial forbidden area. The new island is a famous forbidden area for Pokémons, because the Pokémon in the habitat of the new island are too strong and the weak cannot set foot on the new island. The natives of the new island will not be attacked by Pokémon, but it is extremely difficult for outsiders to enter the new island. You must at least have the strength of an elite Jonin to be qualified to enter the new island, especially the island in the middle of the lake. On the new island, where Mutuo's palace is located, is known as the core of the forbidden area. 4 elf tribes live on the island in the middle of the lake, namely, the slimy dragon, the Kixie bluebird, the monarch snake, and the western lion sea wren. 5 shadow-level Pokémon lead the elf tribe to garrison here. Botanglong has no elven tribe and is alone, so he becomes the order manager who coordinates the 4 tribes' 5 cage-level Pokémon and a group of elite Jonin-level Pokémon. Whoever gets in the way will die. The Storm Sea is also a red quality habitat, and the strength of the Pokémon there is no weaker than that on the new island. However, the elves in the Storm Sea habitat are too scattered, and most of the elves live in the sea. What Xiao Ai needs to do is to gather the powerful Pokémon on a mountain. With the help of Latius and Latius, this task is not difficult. Xiao Ai has moved 4 shadow-level Pokémon and their tribes into the Dragon Fantasy Mountains, namely Alakazam, Kirin, Gyarados, and Alroy. The different sea lions are the only shadow-level group that did not migrate in because they must live in the sea. There is a lake at the top of the Dragon Fantasy Mountains, where the Gyarados tribe lives. Below the mountains is the habitat of many Pokémon, including elite Jonin-level Pokémon. In the middle of the mountains, the Hooty, Kilinki and Sniper Tree Owl tribes live here. Above the mountains is the habitat of the Pacus and Latius clans. When Luo Sha arrived, Zonghaya had almost completed the construction of the forbidden area while Xiao Ai was busy as hell. Boscadora and his little brothers were lying on the top of the mountain watching the sunset. In Boscadora's words, as the 7 tails Jinchuriki, Ami can fly without any help from us. We climb the mountain once, which is enough for Ami to fly 10 times. Well, this is very Xiao Ai, brother. Luo Sha, you are finally here, woo woo woo. When Zonghaya saw Luo Sha, he immediately pounced on him. His life was really hard. He worked in the land of waves for more than a month and lost a lot of weight. The most important thing is that no one talks to him. Blah, blah, blah. Zonghaya started to complain about his life in the past month, and his little mouth was full of complaints. Luo Sha blocked his ears with his superpowers and replied every 2 minutes, "Thank you for your hard work, Ami. Ami is awesome." As expected of Ami, anyway, it's enough to give enough emotions. Xiao Ai is so engrossed in what he's saying that he won't care about Luo Sha's unread and random replies. Yukang couldn't stand Xiao Ai, so he rode Molters to the land of waves to take a break. This is her first time in the land of waves, and Yukang plans to have a good look around. Karula also wanted to run away, but when she thought about Rasa and Xiao Ai being alone in a room, she felt very worried. Karula has been reading some weird books recently and has even become a fan of the Bushika Madara CP. An author read the history of Konoha and combined it with various unofficial histories, and discovered a shocking secret, so she wrote furiously and wrote a best-selling serialized book in the entire ninja world, The History of Grudges Between the Senju and Uchiha. The author tells the story of the Warring States period and the early days of Konoha from the perspective of Uchiha Madara. It is very touching and brought countless tears to my eyes. Uchiha Madara's reputation was reversed in one fell swoop, and he became a poor man who was deceived in love. Senju Hashirama's reputation also reversed and he became a scumbag. This extraordinary work was published by the Begonia literary newspaper, for which a special column, Hashirama and Madara, was set up. The Hashirama Madara CP has become a very popular CP in the ninja world and is sought after by many girls. The most outrageous thing is that Uzumaki Mito is the #1 fan of this book. Uzumaki Mito publicly accepted an interview with the Begonia newspaper and talked at length about the grievances and hatreds of the past, providing the author with more material. Giallo urged for updates every day and gave a generous reward to the author Mina, asking her to write faster. Madara is simply the representative of the beautiful, strong and miserable version of the ninja world, and Karula has now become Madara's little fangirl. By the way, Madara-sama is buried in the cemetery of Sands Village in order to be able to resurrect Madara in the future. Rasa collected Madara's body and buried it in the Sands Village cemetery in order to prevent others from discovering that this is Uchiha Madara. The words engraved on the monument are the tomb of Madara, the dance king of the ninja world. Karula was influenced by the Pillar Madrasa CP and suddenly found that she had more rivals in love that she needed to guard against. Karula is obsessed with love and now everyone looks like a rival to her, so Karula leaned on Rosa's shoulder and accompanied Rosa to listen to Xiao Ai's nagging. Seeing this, Luo Sha used his superpowers to block out Xiao Ai's voice. With Ami's personality, only Shukaku can be on par with him. Luo Sha sighed helplessly. Are you going to leave Shukaku in Ami's care from now on? No, Shukaku needs to be left to our child. It might be more appropriate to leave Kurama to me. Luo Sha didn't say a word after that, because I really want to see Jiu Lama being tortured by the chatterbox. When Isabu heard that Kurama and Xiao Ai were going to team up, he curled the corners of his mouth subtly. As long as Kurama is not doing well, the other 8-tailed beasts are happy. Why Shukaku? Karula was a little confused. She hoped that Isafi would protect the future child. Shukaku keeps swearing. What should I do if he corrupts the child? Well, because this is fate's arrangement. Chapter 174 Tapu Fin Fin, Kaguya Girls Group. Storm Sea. Luo Sha released Lugia. Xiao Luo, go home. Ah. Why are you back so soon? I haven't had enough fun in the Kingdom of Wind. Although I miss my parents very much, I don't want to be trapped in the Storm Sea. Xiao Luo said aggrievedly. We will stay here for 2 days and then return to the Sands Village. Luo Sha touched Xiao Luo's head. The breath of the sea god emanated, and Lugia flew out from the deep sea. Luo Sha, long time no see. Good day, Lugia. I need to relocate the 3 sacred birds to various regions of the ninja continent. The distribution of the sacred beasts in the ninja continent is a bit too unbalanced right now. The Infinite Holy Land was officially established at 2 infinite sages and 6 sages are the leaders. While Pacus is an ordinary member of the Holy Land, the other Pokémon of the Dragon Fantasy Mountain serve as peripheral members of the Holy Land. The Land of Waves became a territory governed by Latius and Latius. The 3 sacred bird tribes of the Land of Waves must migrate out. No problem, I'll summon them right away. Lugia was delighted, as these 3 sacred birds were indeed a burden to him. If the duties of the 3 sacred birds were not attached to it, Lugia would have stopped caring about it long ago. Wu Lugia let out a long cry, and a storm arose on the sea on the island not far away. The sound of birds singing could be heard one after another. The 3 sacred birds flew over at Lugia's call and gathered in front of him. Rosa, there are 129 of the 3 sacred birds here, and 121 of them are already scattered across the ninja world. Lugia took a quick look at the number of birds and had a basic understanding of the situation of the 3 sacred birds. Thank you very much, that's enough. All Articuno's territories are distributed to the Water Kingdom Islands, and Zapdos replenishes the remaining islands at the same time. Send a few more Zapdos to the Yukon habitat to follow the priest Zapdos. The flame birds are distributed to various countries in the ninja continent. Luo Sha used his superpowers to establish the coordinates of each of the 3 sacred birds. They can fly to their respective territories according to the guidance and find suitable habitats. As for where he wants to hang out later, Luo Sha has no control over it. With the current level of strength in the ninja world, there are really few people who can defeat the 3 sacred birds. There are too few ninjas who can fly, so even if the 3 sacred birds can't defeat them, they can still fly. This makes it extremely difficult for the ninja to capture the 3 sacred birds. But in the future, there will always be a few lucky people who will tame the 3 sacred birds and become famous divine beast masters. Luo Sha let the 3 sacred birds run around the world, intending to let more people see them and speed up the process of the emergence of the divine beast envoy. Afterwards, Luo Sha said goodbye to Lugia and came to the Hidden Mist village. In the past few years, several geniuses that Luo Sha has been paying attention to were born one after another, including Madarumi, Kisame Kanpei, Genjutsu Hazuki, Zabuza Mamachi and Yu-Gi-Oh! These 5 are still in their infancy, and it will take more than 10 years for them to develop combat effectiveness. Luo Sha's focus is on the 6-tailed rhino dog. The birth of Yu-Gi-Oh! Means that the 6-tailed Jinchuriki will not have much time left. Rasa came to the Hidden Mist village to retrieve the tailed beast. Of course, Luo Sha won't get it for free. He plans to exchange a habitat for a legendary beast for Vulpix. However, He must first go to the Hidden Mist village to obtain 1 billion taels of silver. It is impossible for Luo Sha to pay for it out of his own pocket. Since it is prepared for the Hidden Mist village, it is natural for the Hidden Mist village to pay for it. In Luo Sha's words, the original price of the habitat was 50 billion taels, and the Rhino dog offset 40 billion taels, making a good deal of 10 billion taels. Karakal wanted exactly what he wanted. 1 billion taels in exchange for a high-quality elf habitat. The Hidden Mist village made a huge profit. The Water Kingdom is made up of islands, which is similar to the Ulala region. Luo Sha developed the Water Kingdom as the Ulala region, and the habitats of the 4 island gods, the God of Light, and the Sun and Moon gods will be located in the Water Kingdom and the Rainbow Kingdom in the future. Therefore, Luo Sha chose from the water-type beasts and finally selected the Tapu Fin habitat. Tapu Fin, with water and fairy attributes, is the patron saint of the Ulala region and one of the 4 island gods. Luo Sha placed the Tapu Fin habitat in the south of the main island, only 20 miles away from the Hidden Mist village. Karakal followed Inoki and announced to the ninja world that Karigakure also possessed a divine beast. Karigakure stole the limelight from Iwagakure, and the 2 villages started to confront each other in an instant. Their feud has a long history. Ever since the 2nd generation Mizukage and Tsuchikage, the relationship between Iwagakure and Karigakure has been bad. In the past 2 years, the 2 villages have been competing for the throne of the 2nd most powerful ninja village, and their relationship has become even worse. If the ninjas from the 2 villages meet on the road, a spirit war will break out in minutes. They are ninja villages from the same camp, and at the request of Tsunagakure, they cannot cause any loss of life. Therefore, the ninjas do not fight in the battlefield, and the fighting is entirely done by the elves. There is Kamasirayu Hoichi and Iwagakure, who use Beedrill to leave unforgettable memories for many members of Karigakure. Karigakure has Kagu Ai and Sahuru, while Team Snowsky makes the disgusting Iwagakure ninja cry out for help. Kagu Ai Sakura has developed very well in the past 3 years. He led the Kagu Ai girl group to start a concert tour across the ninja world and became popular all over the country. Now that the technology of taking photos is advanced, just like television, this has rapidly expanded the influence of the Kagu Ai girl group. The Kagu Ai girl group has become a world-class girl group, and Kagu Ai Asara was even named the queen of singing and dancing by the Tsunagakure Daily. Iwagakure was not willing to be outdone and launched the Iwagakure boy group. It spent money to buy trending searches all day long and bought a page in Tomato Daily to introduce the Iwagakure boy group. However, the Iwagakure boy group did not make any splash. Iwagakure imitated the Kagu Ai girl group and made the boy group dance the girl group's dance. A group of strong men were twisting their hips and blowing kisses on it, and their eye-catching dance successfully disgusted the people in the ninja world. The Iwagakure boy band fell into obscurity and withdrew from the entertainment industry, but Iwagakure would never give up. Since they couldn't win the fight, they would just throw dirty water on them. Iwagakure launched a spy war against Karigakure and dug up a lot of negative information about Kagu Ai and Sahuru. Good guy, a cross-dressing man, a mentally ill person, seducing Luo Sha in public. Iwagakure silently erased the 3rd piece of news and reported the first 2 pieces of news extensively. However, the opposite happened. The negative news spread by Iwagakure made Kagu Ai Sahuru more popular. Originally, the fan base was only male, but now it is half male and half female. Especially these female fans, their fighting power is even stronger than that of male fans. Iwagakure helped boost the popularity of the Kagu Ai girl group, and was so angry that he banged his head against the wall. The Kagu Ai girl group had a concert scheduled in the Snow Country, and the 9 of them directly raised the Snow Country's habitat. After the Kagu Ai clan recovered from their ninja bloodline disease, the Shikatsugu clan became more powerful, and Kagu Ai Menma and Kagu Ai Asara successively reached the level of cage combat power. There are 3 cage-level warriors in Karigakure, and Kagu Ai accounts for 2 of them. The Kagu Ai clan has become the undisputed largest clan in Karigakure. The Kagu Ai girl group is composed of 9 corpse vein ninjas, 1 cage-level ninja, and 8 elite jonins, who can come and go freely in the snow blue habitat. Xiao Ai is a fan of Kagu Ai girls group. Even though he knows Kagu Ai Sakura's gender, it does not affect his love for Kagu Ai girls group. The other 8 young ladies are also very beautiful. Xiao Ai would always drag Rosa with him to watch concerts, because thanks to Rosa's face, he could sit in the first row without having to fight for tickets. Chapter 175, The Love-Hate Relationship Between Karigakure and Iwagakure. The ninja world pays attention to the Kagu Ai girl group because of their stage charm. It wasn't until the Tomato Daily's headline, "The first divine beast user, Kaguya Satoru became a hot search that everyone suddenly realized that this guy is a cage-level master. How could they deserve such film-level masters to sing and dance for them? Kaguya Girls Group has even more fans, including fans for appearance, fans for career, fans for fighting power, and fans for CP, and the composition is extremely complex. The most outrageous CP fans, Kaguya and Satoru, can form a CP with the other 8, or even NP9 people and hundreds of CP fans. A mess, but it is undeniable that the Kaguya Girl Group has become a benchmark for women in the entire ninja world. Independent, confident, strong, beautiful. Especially Kaguya and Satoru's mental state of never wasting time is very attractive. I can't be wrong. If I am wrong, it must be your fault, Kaguya. And Sakichi walked through the ninja world with this idea in mind, killing people indiscriminately in the ninja world. There is peace in the ninja world now, so killing is definitely not allowed. You can only use a bone knife to cut a few hundred bloody marks. The Iwagakure ninjas suffered the most, suffering the vast majority of the firepower. Every ninja who encountered Kaguya Sora had a caterpillar carved on his body. Iwagakure condemned Kaguya Sakura, who immediately retorted, "I didn't hurt anyone, this is my pursuit of art." Art. Very artistic. Kaguya and Sora's crazy fans were so powerful that they helped them gain an advantage in public opinion, and Iwagakure was criticized badly. Because of the existence of super special people like Kaguya and Satoru, Iwagakure can never compete with Karigakure. Unoki protested, but Karikal said he didn't dare to do anything about it. Unoki was speechless and choked, and started cursing, "Damn Mizukage, he's so incompetent that he can't even control his ninjas. How could Karikal bear it?" He immediately retorted, "I am proud that Kaguya has 2 cage-level people. What's wrong with that? Karigakure is not like Iwagakure. They are useless and cannot cultivate a second cage-level person. The 2 villages have been at loggerheads for 2 years overall. Karigakure has always had the upper hand." Kamasa Ryuichi used the giant bee drill to leave the Karigakure ninja with an unforgettable memory. The Kaguya family responded with a corpse vein, leaving the Iwagakure ninja with an unforgettable memory. In 2 years, countless ninjas suffered the 1,000-year killing. Tomato daily takes photos every day and selects the new millennium killing master. Tens of thousands of ninjas flock to the niche track of 1,000 years of killing. Kamazu Ryuichi has firmly sat on the throne of the 1,000-year master. And everyone has forgotten the first generation 1,000-year master, Hatake Tsukumo Konoha village, the land of the Hatake clan. When Hatake Tsukumo saw the tomato daily, his face was filled with relief. "Dad, you seem very happy today." 3-year-old Kakashi asked curiously while lying in Hatake Tsukumo's arms. "It's really touching that so many people have inherited my father's secret skills." Hatake Tsukumo laughed out loud. He didn't expect that there were so many people like him in the ninja world. He was saying, why can't such a powerful secret technique as 1,000 years of killing be promoted? It turns out there are regional differences. What secret technique? Can I learn it later? Kakashi asked excitedly, his eyes shining. "Yeah, sure, but you have to learn the Hatake sword technique first." "Great. I will definitely become the strongest swordsman ninja and carry forward the Hatake swordsmanship." Kakashi had a complete childhood, with his parents accompanying him every day, so he has an extremely optimistic and outgoing personality. "Dad, I want to learn too." Might Guy, hiding on the other side of Hatake Tsukumo, shouted loudly. "Kai, I have prepared the 8 Gates Ninjutsu for you. This is a top-level physical skills secret book." Might Dai died in battle, and Hatake Tsukumo, as a friend of Might Dai, often helped Might Dai's orphans. Might Dai was born into a commoner family, an all-purpose Jinan, and his family was not wealthy. Now that he's gone, the family can't make ends meet. After Might Dai's wife remarried, Hatake Tsukumo adopted Kai, because my last name isn't Hatake, I can't learn it. Might Dai cried out with tears in his eyes, "Dad, let Kai learn the Hatake sword technique, and I can learn the 8 Gates Ninjutsu." Kakashi spoke up. Hatake Tsukumo was speechless for a long time. Hatake swordsmanship is the family ninjutsu of the Hatake family. Although he adopted Kai, Kai is not a member of the Hatake family. After all, the Hokage has a very strong sense of family, and Hatake Tsukumo is a little embarrassed. Yuan Yuki heard the crying, ran out of the kitchen, and quickly hugged Kai to comfort him. "Tsukumo-kun, Kai is also our child, a child of the Hatake family." After understanding the whole story, Yuan Yuki expressed his opinion. "Kai, you want to learn Hatake swordsmanship, but you must change your last name to Hatake. Are you willing, Hatake?" Tsukumo looked at Might Guy with a serious expression. Might Guy immediately stopped crying and nodded happily. Yes, I'm Hatake Kai, Hatake. Tsukumo was in mixed feelings. He always felt that he was being unfair to Might Guy by doing this. Then, Kakashi will learn the 8 gates, and Guy will learn the Hatake sword technique. Is that okay for you two? No problem. 2. On the other side, Kirigakure and Iwagakure are still loving and hating each other. The elves of the two villages are equally powerful, but Kirigakure is good at water-type elves, which can completely restrain Iwagakure's ground-type and rock-type elves, especially since Kirigakure has a group of Hyuga ninjas who have no moral principles and are extremely perverted. Iwagakure just announced the Dirakian habitat, and Kirigakure announced the Tapu Fin habitat right after. Anoki was already angry at Yellow Earth's clarity and stupidity, so how could he tolerate this? Anoki challenged Kirakoa to a duel and a hand-to-hand combat began. If they can't defeat the rock-hidden elves in battle, does that mean they can't defeat them in hand-to-hand combat either? The two villages began to rub against each other again, and the strange thing was that every ninja had prepared lubricant. There are too many 1,000-year killer ninjas now, not to mention a bunch of old perverts. If you don't apply some lubricant beforehand, you'll probably be doomed on the battlefield. The Iwagakure ninjas were painted the most, because the corpse bone veins grew out of the ground, and who knows which thorn would poke them. The pain was excruciating. There were some ninjas whose faces were filled with excitement. They were so overwhelmed by the poking that every time they fought with the Kaguya ninjas, they felt uncomfortable if they were not poked. The ninjas of the two villages maintained this level of friction for a long time, but no one was killed. The reason why the 1,000-year killing is so popular is mainly because this secret technique does not kill the person, but can kill the opponent with great pain. When Rasa arrived at Kirigakure, he found that half of Kirigakure's ninjas were missing. They all went to the battlefield to fight hand-to-hand with the Iwagakure ninjas. This seems a bit large. Luo Sha thought it was just a small fight, but he didn't expect that Kirigakure would dispatch tens of thousands of ninjas. Iwagakure has 50,000 ninjas, and at least 20,000 of them will participate in hand-to-hand combat. The hand-to-hand combat between 30,000 ninjas is truly unique in the ninja world. The scale of the fight between Kirigakure and Iwagakure is so large. Is it true that there won't be any accidents? When Luo Sha saw Kiriko, he asked directly. No, the Kirigakure ninjas and the Iwagakure ninjas have developed feelings for each other. Some ninjas have become brothers, and some have gotten married. This is actually a matchmaking convention, and whoever wins will have the upper hand, Kiriko said with a complicated expression. Luo Sha's pupils trembled. Is this possible? End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.